laugh and my heart chokes. Like Midas, everything you touch turns gold. You dance in the hallway like nobody's told. You say my name so softly, like it's a little word. Yeah. Every time you're near me, all my doubts get blurred. You take my day, turn it bright, brand new. Every look you give says I choose you. I get you more than anybody ever could. You get me in a way I never understood. In every little smile, every little move you do. Ooh, baby, I don't need a reason. I just know. I just know. I get you. Yeah, it's all about your dreams, eyes wide, shining clear. And you tell the wildest stories I could listen for years. And you roll your eyes and kiss me when I'm stubborn and proud. You pull me back to center when my thoughts get loud. You take my fear, turn it into truth. Yeah. Every time you touch me, I remember you. I get you more than anybody ever could. You get me, yeah. In a way I never understood. Every little smile, every little move you do. Ooh, baby, I don't need a reason. I just know. I just know. I get when the world feels heavy on my shoulders, you lean in, lay your head right over mine. You say we can carry this together, and just like that, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. That's when I'm free. I get you more than anybody ever could. You get me in a way I never understood. Every little smile, every little move you do, baby. I don't need a reason. I just know. I get you.
Hey, hey.
I get you. Yeah, I get you. You get me, and I get you.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. Listen, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me good. 1 in the chat if the audio is good. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody watching. I hope y'all are doing great this Tuesday afternoon. Happy Tuesday to all of y'all. I hope y'all are doing well. Listen, 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me good. 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me good. We gonna get into this live stream, y'all. I'm not gonna try to keep y'all too long, but I wanted to make sure I popped up here to share some things with you guys. Listen, if you are new in the building and you like the content and you have not hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also share and like the stream as well. And let me know if you are new in the building. Leave that in the chat. I would love to shout you out for being a part of the channel. And shout out to everybody who supports the channel, everybody in the chat, everybody watching, everybody who's been a subscriber of this channel or a member. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for your support. I appreciate you highly. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who is here. I appreciate you guys so much. But listen, we're gonna get into some things. We're gonna get into some things, and we're gonna talk about it, and make sure you give your thoughts in the chat. I definitely want to hear from you. What's going on, everybody? Shout out to y'all. So what's going on, Kennard the DJ? Cameron Gilliam, I hope I'm saying that right. Shout out to you. Night Call 411, new in the building. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and welcome to the fam. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Lorenzo Redmond in the building. 86 Stevens. Who else? LD. I don't know the rest. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, Blue X. What's going on, Blue X? What's going on? How y'all doing? I hope y'all are doing well. So we're going to get into some things. Make sure you are ready to chime in the chat, give your thoughts, concerns, questions, all that good stuff. Also support the channel by liking the stream. Go ahead and thumbs up the stream as you come into the building. Also, if you are able to give a super chat or a cash app to support the channel, I recommend that you do that if you can. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and do that as well to support the podcast. All right. So you guys see the title. It says men are finding peace overseas. Of course, I've talked about this before. And OnlyFans was supposed to be easy money plus more. So we already know OnlyFans is running into some issues. A lot of these creators, OnlyFans creators, are not making the money that either they used to make or the money they thought they were going to make. Okay. So now we're seeing this whole, sell your body, promiscuous outlook or choice to be able to provide for yourself in that way is dwindling. These women are not able to capitalize off of their bodies the way they used to, child. Oh my God. And it's becoming a major problem because if they can't sell sex, if you can't sell that, what are you gonna do? Like, they don't know about getting regular jobs like everybody else. So if you can't capitalize off your body, if you can't use what you got to get what you want, then it's a problem. Let me say that again.
If you can't use what you got to get what you want, then it's gonna be a big problem. I'm just saying. Oh my God. If you can't capitalize off that body, that BBL, which we're gonna get into that as well, why the BBL trend is not doing what they thought it was gonna do. If you can't do that, it's gonna be a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
So we're going to talk about it. There's definitely a shift that's happening. It's definitely a global shift that is happening and occurring, and it's not in the favor of these particular women. And so they're going to have to figure it out another way. And, and one of the ways that they may think now that, when they're forced to do it is to try to get a man. That's one of the ways that a lot of women are reconsidering now. They done went from, I don't need a man, I can do it all by myself, and I don't need, what I need you for if you're not going to make my life, if you're not going to come in and pay all my bills. So now they're shifting. It's going to have to take a shift. And part of the ways that they're shifting is, trying to make men think that they are ready to be in committed relationships and that, they want a man now. But we see now they want a man because it's to benefit them. It's to help them. It's not just because you want companionship and you want to build families and all of these things. It's because you want help. You know what I mean? You want help. And that's going to be very difficult too now because men realize the nature of women and men don't trust these women. So this is part of the global shift that we're seeing as it relates to men going overseas, trying to find relationships, whatever they're going over there for. They're not focused on the women here. They're going elsewhere to find more, cooperative, beautiful women who understands the nature of men. And a lot of those women in their cultures were taught us, about, how to treat a man, basically, which is something in our culture, in my opinion, a lot of us have not been taught how to treat a man, but what we should expect and get from a man. So I think that's the difference. And a lot of women don't like that, but there's nothing they can really do about it. I said this before, once men make up their minds and decide which way they're going to go, a lot of these women going to be screwed. Oh my God. If you are a woman who's been depending on men for your support and depending on your bodies to get ahead, that narrative is shifting rapidly. It's starting to shift. We don't have as many simps as we did out here now. A lot of men are understanding their worth and what they bring to the table and how they could do a lot better, and they don't have to be subjected to a big booty and a cute face while she just treats you horribly, and you just supposed to sit there and give up everything for this person, and they just sit back and just keep using you and abusing you, and you're supposed to just keep doing it because she's cute and that might be the only vagina that you could get. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a narrative that's changing, and a lot of women don't really like it, but they don't have any other choice. But I want to get into this clip of why a lot of these men are going overseas to try to find, peace, for one, and to also try to go over and find, suitable women for possible marriages and to build families with, or just going over for recreational fun that don't cost them an arm and a leg. Like, you ain't got to pay deposits. You don't have to, buy them a car. You don't have to pay for their outfits, their nails, their hair, their babysitters, there's car notes and all this just to take them out. You can go way overseas and go out and have a good time with a woman if that's what you're looking for, and it doesn't have to cost you a whole, several paychecks. I'm just saying. So there's multiple reasons why these men are going over there, and once again, I have no problem with that. These are grown men who are paying. They're not asking women to pay for them to do it. They're doing it on their own dime. They're going over and having them a good time and doing whatever it is they choose to do, as they can and should as grown adults. And you have grown Bonnie Crew Society members who don't like it. But there's nothing they can do about it. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button as you come in. So let's go ahead. I want to play this first clip. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Passport boys, the new trend. Men are going overseas to find women that were raised to be good wives. The response I get on my vlogs, on my podcast, and Instagram or whatnot is, oh, those are women that are oppressed. See, women have such a negative taste in their mouth towards, oh, she's from Mexico. Oh, she's oppressed. It's like, why? My girlfriend was raised, her mom taught her how to cook. Her dad said, take care of your man. I know there's women now that can't even put a Hot Pocket in the microwave and get it right.
I've been living in Dubai for the last 13 years. Meet a lot of Western men. Over this last decade, I've seen more and more American men here in Dubai with foreign wives. Women from Indonesia, from the Philippines, from Thailand, from Russia, from Ukraine. And I'm talking about your educated men, your school teachers, your engineers, your software technicians, all of those professions where you get a good, solid, middle class, upper middle class man. And everyone have said the same thing. When I asked them this question, why did you choose this wife? 99.9% of them have said, I just cannot take Western women anymore. They just want women that are agreeable, who are fit, they're friendly, they're not overweight. And I'm not just talking about black men, middle class white guys as well, So you modern women in America, you guys gotta be aware that there's an incredible competition for your men. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and these are statements that I've been seeing and reading and hearing on podcasts. And I'm like, to say that weak. A man is weak because he decides he goes to a different country, finds a woman that he likes, who treats him like the king that he is, or that he...
Men are waking up and realizing the American woman mindset is altered, skewed. It's bad for business. It's bad for marriage. It's bad for life. Why is that? Because the modern day woman is very masculine. Society and the feminists have skewed and altered the matrix into having women believe, get a good education and a good job, and you don't need a man. And you're seeing the percentages and the numbers and the statistics go up. More and more people are single, and less birth rates are happening in America. And men are tired of it. So what's happening now, men are getting passports and going overseas to find a woman, and American women are upset and sideways about it. Number one response is, they can't handle us. And for once in your life, you're correct. They can't. Nobody else can handle you. And on top of that, nobody else wants to handle you. When a woman says this, nobody can handle me. That's why they're doing it. They're mad, they're bitter. What is the outcome that you want? Because if you're a woman that says you don't need a man, then you have no business commenting on this video and disagreeing with me.
The Passport Bro movement is about freedom for a group of men who never really experienced a lot of freedom, which is black American men. Now, white men have been traveling and going to different countries for a very, very long time. And what white men have done in other countries has nothing to do with black American men whatsoever. We have, covered and seen even the lies that's been spoken on Black American men, trying to compare what, some white men have done that was predatory and downright criminal in other countries, saying black men gonna do the same, because they have to try to shame the black man. It is the modern American woman who feels that she has no control anymore on men in this country through the Pass Road Bro movement is the ones who's actually having an issue and problem.
Yeah, and I agree with what he's saying. I just wanted to pause there for a second. I think that is part of the problem. I think a lot of you see a lot of black women have a problem with with black men going overseas to look for wives, relationships, fun, whatever. It's because they feel like they're losing their grip. They just can't shame you and make you do what they want you to do. And I think that is part of the problem. That is part of the problem. They want to, they've lost control, the control that they felt that they've had, where they could just shame a black man and say, oh my God, you shouldn't be doing this, or you should be doing this. And they just do it. And they're not getting that response. And that's what's infuriating them. And this is why they want to say, oh, they're sassy. Try to shame them in many different ways, because you can't just make them feel a certain way and they just listen to what you're saying. That didn't work for them in the first place. So why would they continue to do it? And this is where I say a lot of these black women think men are black men, because when we talk about black people. I'm black. I'm talking about black people. And this is what I see in our community. Excuse me, y'all. I feel like I'm losing my voice again, but please bear with me. I think they're losing their grip. They don't have control. They can't make black men do what they want them to do. And that's why the shaming, like when you have control over somebody and they finally realize it and they finally break free and they finally realize, damn, I'm better than this. And the person, either the abuser or the person, the controlling person, they lose their minds because they realize, damn, I can't manipulate this person anymore. I can't. That's what's happening. They can't manipulate you into thinking that you're doing something wrong and you need to do what they say. No, because it doesn't work. And so now they don't know what to do. So the only thing they could do is shame you to make you think that something is wrong with you and something is wrong with what you're choosing to do. And oh my God, you shouldn't be doing it. And how could you do it? And you know what I mean? So that is what's happening and they don't like it. Shout out to Paul. What's going on, Paul? Harrison 7351. Shout out to you, Paul. Thank you so much for being here, coming through with the generous super chat as usual. Says, hey, DeeDee. Quick question off topic. My favorite Jamaican dishes are beef patties with cocoa bread and jerk chicken. Okay. When cooked correctly. What's your favorite dish? Still supporting our sister. Hit the like button, people. Yes, hit the like button. Look, I'm from the South. One of my favorite dishes, I don't eat it a lot now, is I love lasagna. Lasagna is one of my favorite dishes. I love gumbo. I'm from the South. I'm from New Orleans. So gumbo, what else? I love salmon, baked chicken. I'm a foodie, to be honest with you. I am a foodie. I love to eat, even though I gotta taper it off a little bit. But yeah, one of my favorite dishes is lasagna, actually. That's one of my favorite things to make too. And but I love baked chicken, grilled chicken, salmon, jambalaya, gumbo. What else? I mean, I like all types of food. I like all types of food. Yeah, just nothing too spicy. Dirty rice. Fish. I like all types of things. But one of my favorite things to make and to eat is lasagna. That's one of my favorite meals. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much for coming through with the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says, honestly, men have been marrying from other countries heavily since the 70s. How do people think men in the military have foreign wives? This not new. Right. And I agree, Successful MD. It's not new. What's going on, Deshaun 86 AK? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, but I think for black women, for black people, they on social media, A lot of this stuff isn't new, but social media is kind of bringing it to the forefront where people, where it's being talked about more. But yeah, none of this is new. None of this is new. It's just social media has put a spotlight on it, and now everybody is talking about it. And so that's just what it is. Thank you, Successful Indeed, for the super chat. I appreciate you. Irving Hunt, thank you for the super chat. Says, wow, Dee, funny, I caught this live. I just paid for a whole month in Southeast Asia coming up. Your buddy Irvin Hunt going for this reason. Can't find nothing but users here in the US. Exactly, Irvin. Thank you so much for the super chat, Irvin. I appreciate you for supporting the channel. Thank you, bro. Yeah, and we're starting to see more and more of this. Men are they're taking their chances there because they're not finding anything here. So why not go and try to find what you're looking for somewhere else? I don't see anything wrong with it, but a lot of people don't see anything wrong with it. It's just the women who have a problem who can't find a man are the ones who have a problem with it. Just Ish 25. I hope I'm saying that right. Just Ish 25 says, fellas, move in silence with your passport before these women find a way to politically keep your A in this country through demonizing our movement. I would say just do your thing. And I think a lot of men are doing it and they're moving in silence. It's just, some of them are trying to get the awareness out there for other men, for other men to get, to see what's happening so that they can catch on to it. But yeah, I think, do your thing. And I think a lot of women just not gonna like it, and they notice it. And even the women have started to travel to those areas as well. And then they're talking about how they see all the men over there. And even when they go there, the men there can spot the American women. Isn't that funny? You can spot the American women and still run from them even over there. So they're coming over there to spy on the men to see what they're doing and see what's going on. And they're trying to do the same thing, but they don't have as much success or luck as the men do when they go. Because even the men over there don't want these American women. I'm just saying. Thank you, Just Ish 25 for the super chat. I appreciate you. So, look, I always say, listen, go where you are appreciated. I don't think, a woman could stop you from going to look or try to shame you to stop you from going to find something that you want for your life, something that you want for just to do for you. Whatever you choose to do for you is your business. And I don't understand why the Bonnie Crew Societies of a Member get on social media and are all mad and try to dismiss these men. But y'all, it ain't gonna work. And they see it's not working. So either they just gonna leave it alone or they just gonna, just be mad all to themselves because there's nothing you can do about it. But the things that they could do about it, they don't want to because they don't think that they are the problem. And we're going to get into that in a second. A lot of American women don't see themselves as a problem. They think that they're everything since sliced bread and that they don't have to make changes. And that's part of the reason why the men are walking away. Now, do I think all men are perfect? Hell to the no. Oh my God. Let's not get it twisted. I don't think every man is perfect. No, but I think, but the narrative is that all women, the narrative, even though they're not blatantly saying it, but the narrative is always the men are the ones who all got the problem and the women are just these perfect queens. Even though they say we're not perfect, the insinuation is, oh, something is wrong with all these men, but nothing is wrong with y'all because y'all can never point out your own flaws. You, as women, American women, you can never point out what's your fault, where your issues lie, but it's always on the men. So yeah, that's insinuating that all the men are the problem because they don't want to do what we want, and all of us are just queens and we're just perfect, and we can't find a perfect man to match our fly. That's what they're saying without saying it blatantly. But we know that's not true. And I don't think all men are perfect. Yeah, I think there's men who have to work on themselves too. There are a lot of men out here with a lot of issues. But all I try to say is point out the fact we've been pointing out the men with the issues, but we've never pointed out the women with the issues, and that's kind of coddled them and made them feel like they're better than men and put them on this pedestal, and they're far from that. And I don't think we should pedestalize anybody, to be honest. Let's continue.
I think the question goes deep and to specific audiences. So, in the Black community, without a doubt, there are a lot of men who leave America looking for women who are more agreeable. I wouldn't say submissive, but more agreeable.
There has been a growing trend, right? And this really started, I would say, a little bit more than 10 years ago. No, it's been going on longer than that, but really to where we've had the whole idea of passport bros, right? There's been this growing trend that has been picking up in the last 20 and more so in the last 15 and definitely in the last 10 years where a lot of men, Western men, men from the US, men from Canada, but it's been a lot of highlight in it for American men have been going to places like Thailand, the Philippines, Taiwan, whatever the case is, right? The Philippines and Thailand seem to really lead the way, and Colombia as well, right? So it seems like those are three of the most popular destinations for a lot of American men, men of all color, right? Black, white, whatever the case is, have been going to these countries to find what they consider, find their wife, to find women that they see who can, work with them, so to speak. I'm being very gentle with my words here, right? They're seeking women who they believe, right, they can build a life with, right, while maintaining their peace. I'm just telling you what folks saying. I'm just summarizing what folks saying. I'm being gentle just talking about this. So you have these American men leaving to go to the Philippines, go to Thailand, go to Colombia, whatever the case is, Brazil, whatever, to find women because they say that Western women are difficult to deal with. That's what they're saying. I never said that. They're saying that Western women are difficult to deal with. So what are y'all thoughts on that? On this whole idea of passport bros? Why are so many men, and it's really a lot of guys are really deciding to go overseas to find a wife and not marry someone who's, here in the US or whatever the case is. Why do you think that's become so much of a prominent thing? I'm curious. Let's discuss.
So, Successful MD says, my hairline is not perfect. No, you didn't. But I am. Okay. I'm going to take your word for it. I can't see your hairline, though. Okay, but you saying it's not perfect. All right, but you are. I got you. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you. Oh my God. Well, at least you're willing to acknowledge that. Hell, because a lot of these people, they don't have a hairline, child. They be thinking they everything since sliced bread. Child. Thank you. I hope I pronounced this right. Is it Azu Maswala? Thank you for the super chat. Says, go where you are appreciated and leave these modern, strong, independent women with Kendra G and the Bear. Let me read that again.
Go where you are appreciated and leave these modern, strong, independent women with Kendra G and the Bear. I know that's right.
Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Right. And I think that's what a lot of men are doing. This is why a lot of these women are confused and say, oh, men don't approach, but y'all don't want to address the real reasons why. And I think once again, the reason why a lot of men have been like kind of pushed to go overseas and all of these places is because I personally don't think that this is not just a black woman thing. Trust me. But because we're black and I'm black and I'm in a black community and I see black people and I see the nature of it in my family and elsewhere, I see it. So I can speak on it because I see it. But this is just not a black woman thing. But I will say we have a lot of good black people in general. I'm not gonna just put a whole race of people, of my people, it just, in a bad light. But I think this is what a lot of women are doing, in my opinion. I see a lot of women who are displaying the worst of the community, but they're acting as if they're the best. So it makes us all look bad. So we gotta say something. You can't just sit back and see this degenerate behavior just take over. And we know that this is not the culture in totality. This is not the nature of all black people. All black men aren't deadbeats, and they had to debunk that narrative that all black men are not just deadbeats and not taking care of the kids, because that's just not true. But if you leave it to black women, they will destroy the culture and make it seem as if it's that, and then turn around and play like the victim and act as if they have nothing to do with the fall or the demise of it. And I think that's a problem when y'all are the main contributors to it, but you don't take any accountability. You don't see yourselves. You're just putting it all on black men alone, and that's it. And I just think that that's reckless. And so you have to, there has to be some pushback. You can't just sit back and just let that narrative just continue to fly and just never say anything, or never, when you know that there are good black men out here, great fathers, great mothers. There are great individuals, but the small percentage of the ones that are just making it seem like it's the narrative across the board is a problem. It's a problem. And so this is why I don't support that. And this is why I speak on the things that I speak about, because I just think that it's foolishness. And I think, they have to wake up. You're not walking around here perfect. There's a lot of things that black women in the black community can work on, but they don't see it. They just think that they're just perfect in a sense. And it's crazy. I'm just going VYBZ6502. Thank you for the super chat. It says black women are now following men overseas, trying to influence the women of that country to act just like them. Oh my God. Oh my God. Lord, you can see it predominantly in Thailand. That's crazy. So they going over there telling the women, girl, you need to be more independent like us. Is that what they doing? You trying to tell those women how to be masculine, independent, and that they don't need a man, but girl, you should be requesting this and that. That's what they're doing. You trying to influence them to act like y'all because it's not working for you. So you want it to not work for them. So now you can influence those women so that they can become like you. That is crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. That is crazy. I'm not surprised. Hate what you can't have. So if you can't have it, you're gonna go way over there to try to convince those women to be more independent, so they can mess up their chances with the black men. So if you can't have them, they can't either. Oh my God. That is sad. Successful MD also says, thank you, Successful MD says, it's ironic for black women to criticize men. They go overseas and become smash burgers for free, but expect American men to be their cash dummies. Exactly. Yeah. They go over there, they get that white stuff put on the back of their legs and their butt cheeks, and they get it rubbed down, and then they want a little happy ending. And so they go over there and do that because they desperate, and these men are getting to a point now to where they don't even want to fool with them sexually. They're like, you've been ran through. I don't trust you. You got all these diseases out here floating around. A lot of men are just prioritizing themselves now. And I think that that's a great thing. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you, bro. I think that men should become more disciplined and focus on themselves. I think it's time for a lot of these men to be selfish. And, if you don't have a wife and you don't have any kids, you should focus on yourself and get yourself together. And if that's the thing that you're missing, if you're going overseas to find peace and find happiness and try to find a wife for a family or whatever it is you're going over there for, I support it, because I don't see why not. Why not? And even if I was a single woman, I still would support it, because guess what? You can't control what grown people do. Just like men can't control these Bonnet Crew societies of America. You can't control them and how they wear their bonnets and what they do. They're going to do it anyway. Even if you don't like it, they're going to still do it. So how can you, think that you can control grown men who make their own money, who make their own decisions? They can do whatever they want. And I don't see anything wrong with it. But these women have the audacity to get on social media in their bonnets, in full, Bonnet Crew Society member fashion, and try to call these men sassy and the bottom of the barrel, and these are the men y'all don't want. And my question is always this, sis, if these are the men that you don't want, why are you making I wouldn't be making no whole long videos in my bonnet talking about these ain't we don't care what you do. We don't even want you. If I didn't give a damn, I wouldn't even care. You wouldn't hear from me. I'm on this. Look, I'm gonna speak out about things that I care about, things that I think we could do better at. If I don't care about these men going overseas and they're the men that you don't want, why are y'all so mad? Why y'all seem so hostile? And this how they be sounding.
I don't care. I don't care what these ninjas do. That we don't want them anyway. We don't want them anyway. They ain't my type. This ain't the type that I want. These are bottom of the barrel. These they can't rub two dimes together. Why would I want them? Oof. I wish I had my bond here. These ain't the men that we want. These sassy bottom of the barrel ninjas going overseas because y'all going because we don't want you. We don't want you.
Right, but why you sound so mad? Let me answer that question for me, sis. Why y'all sound so disgruntled? You don't want them, but you mad as hell. And it shows. Face turned up like you've been eating sour pickles on there, just pissed off they going overseas. I could care less. I would never make a video about grown men going overseas to find wives or to find love, to find a quickie, to find whatever. That ain't my business. I don't care. I don't care because these are grown men. What you should be concerned about is why do they have to go? Why do they have to go? Why are they deciding to go way overseas to find decent women? With all these women in this country, you refuse to focus on the real problem. All of this, you don't care about them, is a deflection. Look at yourself and say, damn, are we that bad? That these men are jumping past us and going overseas? Then that means yes. Y'all are. There's a problem. Houston, we got a problem. And y'all don't see it because you've never been held accountable. So now you just sitting back wondering, damn. But you never really, ask questions to say, damn, for the men that's left here, hey, y'all need to go do a Bonding Crew Society member, group member, a chat or something and call some men in and ask the men, hey, what's the problem? What do we need to fix? But you don't want to focus on you. You don't want to feel like you're the problem. You want to just keep blaming on them. Now they leaving. Now y'all still got a problem. Damn, men are really done. This is the question they're asking. Are men really done? Yeah, it seems like it. The men that are married are already married. The women that are already taken, already got husbands and they got families. And the ones that's left, they're not dealing with the foolishness for the most part. They're not dealing with the foolishness. All this stuff that society and the Bonding Crew Society, members of society of America have told y'all and taught y'all was all wrong. They gave you the wrong information and it's not working. Now the consequences are starting to show. And of course they don't like it. Let's continue.
Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Because there are more family-oriented, more traditional women in other countries, as well as women that have educations. I meet so many female professionals here in Colombia that are excellent women. So next time someone says to you, what's a passport bro? And what are they doing? Do realize passport bros are men that are relocating outside the United States because they want better lifestyles, better laws, and yes, better ladies.
Just in case.
Here are some reasons why the average American man loves Europe, and once they touch down, they don't never want to leave. I said average. I'm not even talking about anybody that makes six figures. Number one, they get into the club for free. You may be like, why is that? Because some of the club owners know that American men are a magnet for women. Once you made it into the club, women smell your swag from a mile away. So what do? They levitate towards you and they try to get your attention, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they scream. It doesn't matter if they bump into you by accident. It doesn't matter if they, do what else by accident, just to get your attention. Once they got your attention, they ask you what you want to drink. They buy you drinks. They buy you dinner. They take you out. They spent money on you. And I'm talking about beautiful women, okay? Pretty women, Lebanese, Turkish, German, Ethiopia, whatever you want. Treating a man like he never got treated before.
Go overseas. Stop dating here. Stop trying to look for some sort of change, some sort of gem amongst them, because you are not going to find it. If there is not an impetus to evolve, the organism will seldom evolve because there is no reason to.
Okay, so major dating tip for dating internationally overseas that people don't talk about enough. is be normal. That's it. Be normal. Your difference is what make you stand out. That's what make you so attractive. You get what I'm saying? That's what makes you attractive. Your cultural difference and your willingness to blend with another culture. Be normal. Don't try to change up yourself. Don't try to be super tough. Don't try to be super Mr. Flex. You want to flex money. Don't try to be things that you're not. Be you. That's the best thing about dating internationally in other international countries is the fact that when you being you, you're going to find somebody for you.
Listen, yeah, I agree with that as well. I just think, once again, it's going to take a lot of changes for the women in this country to get it together. You know what I mean? And this is not every woman, but the indoctrination is real. You know what I mean? The indoctrination is real. The brainwashing is real. I think a lot of and it's not, it's within our culture overall, actually. You know what I mean? It's a lot that's been handed to us, a lot of misinformation, a lot of things that have been given to us on purpose, in my opinion, to cause us to be behind. And when I hear people say, "Oh, the black community is at the bottom," or the black women are at the bottom when it comes to relationships and dating and marriage, it's the truth, but it's not a good feeling. It's not a good thing to want to be considered at the bottom, and that's just it. But this is why it's so important for, and I say women because I think women are at the forefront of this. As much as they try to put the men on, it's no longer. If men were at the forefront at one point, it's flipped to me. And it's the women, in my personal humble opinion, that the women are the ones who have to do the most work. And you can't say, "Oh, the men are supposed to be leaders, so why don't they fix it?" No, because if the men can't even lead the women, then how are they going to lead? If the women are the boss chicks, if the women are leading their own homes, if the women are the ones, who have taken it up on themselves, to be the leaders, then it's up to you to make the changes, because y'all are the ones who are still going by this indoctrination, this brainwashing that has told you that you don't need your own men. Just because you've decided to be in relationships with guys who were not ready or never wanted to commit to you or never wanted to be in a relationship with you, and because you chose to be with a person who was not marriage material, a man who didn't even want marriage, even though you didn't require it. If you was with somebody who didn't treat you the best, and you chose to be with that person and give your all to them and even give children to, that doesn't mean that every man operates that way. That means that you are attracted to a certain type of guy, because we can't just say, it doesn't mean that that's how all men are, because if that was the case, there would be no women who have good men, and there would be no good fathers. There would be no, good husbands, but we know that there are. But I think a lot of women are pushing this narrative because that's been their experience, and they're not taking into consideration or taking into account the fact that they are attracted to a certain type of guy. And even though women will acknowledge that part, they will say, I like thugs, or I like a hood dude, or I like a dude with swag, or I like this. And what you prioritize, what you choose, who you choose, and what you prioritize is the sum of what you end up getting from that person. But it's almost like you want to ignore the fact that you keep choosing a certain type and you like that type, but you're mad at the consequences, and you want to try to force that type to be what you need them to be when you need them to be it, as opposed to picking a guy who has those qualities already. But the problem is the guy that they choose is the one that they really like. The guy who's responsible, knows where his birth certificate is, who's not promiscuous, not going out here just making babies with every woman he sees. He's not out here slinging that thing all over the place. He's considered lame and boring and nerdy. because he's responsible. He's not out trying to party all the time. He's not trying to sleep with everybody. He has a goal in his head of what he wants to do in life. He's smart in school. They look at them as the nerdy ones, and you're not attracted to that. You're attracted to the bad boy. You're attracted to the guy in the streets, the one taking the risk and the chances because he's cool. And you know, you like him. That's what you like. And that's something that I've heard this all my life. Like, this is not a new thing. This is what women go after. This is just what it is. This is why when I'm saying these things, I'm not really shocked. It's nothing new. It's all over we have social media now. But this is a known thing. I've had conversations with women who say this exact same thing. It is not new at all. I know the type of men that a lot of women like and what they go after. And then I've seen them literally in real life cry about how the guy was treating them. But my question is, why you like him? Why you keep picking dudes like that? Because that's what you are attracted to. And if you keep being attracted to a guy that don't treat you right and doing all these things, then you got to start looking at yourself. Why the hell are you keep picking dudes that don't do you right, that don't treat you right, that are getting in trouble, always in jail? Every time you see these women talk about their ex, they, oh, he was in jail. They never miss. Oh, he's in prison. Or he dead. He got shot by the popo or shot by somebody. You know what I mean? Because you in that life. They're, you know, street pharmacists. This is what they do. This is what y'all got 3-4 babies by several of them. Because that's what you are accustomed to. That's what you are attracted to. And you keep doing that. But then you have the audacity to label every man as such. Like the ones that you've experienced. It doesn't mean that that's not the only type of men that exists. Every black man is not the same. But you keep going after your type, and your type is not the right type. Why? But why is it that you keep going after that type? This is what they don't like, because it's a reflection of you. Oh my God. He's a hood dude. You probably a hood chick, even if you don't want to identify as one. You like him because it's something that's familiar to you, and it's something that you feel that you can deal with or that you can be with. Something that doesn't intimidate you or make you feel less than, because y'all are on the equal playing field. You know what it's like to be in the hood. You know what it's like to struggle. You know what the hood life is about. That's what you keep being attracted to. Even if you get out of the hood, you still have that hood mentality. So that's why you keep going, because you're attracting what you are. But they don't see themselves. They only see that person. 9 times out of 10, if you see a dude all tatted up, the chick is tatted up too. In many cases. She might not have as many as he does, but she got him on the too. Because that's y'all on the same playing field. He might not have a job. He might be a street pharmacist, but she might have a job. She might have went to school, because that's been something you was taught to do. So you might go to school. You might get you a better job. He's still doing, that's what he want to do, but you still attracted to him. So you might do a little bit better, but you still got the same mentality as he does. This is why I say when these women come in contact with a real guy who has real standards, who's really elevated, who has his head on straight, who is not from the hood, but he knows what he wants in life, and he's going after it, and he's achieved certain things, and he speaks differently. He don't have to be, you know what I mean? He's just a little bit more buttoned up. And he's not judging you or anything, looking at you less than, because if you're a beautiful woman, he gonna see that. Even despite the tattoos, he might say, oh, she's a beautiful, let me see. Who knows? So he's not better than you, but they feel like he's better because he doesn't come from the same hood that she came from, and he got a job, he got things going for himself, and he don't speak in Ebonics. Oh my God. He knows how to hold create a complete sentence, and he knows how to hold a conversation, and he knows how to speak properly. And he's gonna speak properly because why not? Because that's how he is. So that's intimidating to these hood chicks, because they don't know, they think he's judging them. And it's not that he's judging them. It's the fact that that's just your insecurities. This is what I tell people all the time. When you're around somebody that you feel is better than you, you become intimidated. And you start to feel insecure because you don't feel like you measure up to them. This is why I say, listen to what a lot of these women say, because it's literally a projection of their own feelings. It's a projection of their own feelings, how they feel about themselves. So you don't feel that you measure up to him. So now I don't want to do. I literally heard somebody say they don't want a man who's more educated than they are. Now, why would you not want a man who's more educated than you are? Why? Because you feel like he's going to belittle you and put you down. Why would you automatically go to that without even knowing a person? Because it's your own insecurities. And trust me, the person who said that didn't have a bit of education at all. Still doesn't to this day. So you don't have education yourself, and that's the only reason you would feel intimidated, because you don't have any education. You know, the same way somebody who can't read. I don't like people who can read.
Oh my God!
What?
What? You don't like people who can read? Because you can't read? At 40? Oh my God! You don't like people who can read. Why? Because you don't want them to recognize that you can't read, so now you think they're going to put you down because you can't read at 40? Child, stop.
That's the insanity of it. You can't read, and now instead of saying, well, maybe this person can help me. Maybe they're not judging me. Maybe they're just like, well, damn, what happened? Because I would want to know what happened too. But maybe they can help you out. Maybe they might like you for who you are and be like, you know what, I can help you with that. But you don't know if you're going to get the help because you're too insecure to even say anything. So you're going to just eliminate somebody who has a little bit more than what you have because you're insecure. So when you hear women who are projecting these things, it's because they don't have it. You want to emotionally, which we don't hear too much of this emotional intelligence now because they realize that they don't have emotional intelligence. So we don't hear so much of that now. That's kind of dwindled down. Oh, emotions, because you don't have emotional intelligence. You know, this is part of the push for a lot of women who want to get these degrees and stuff, because they feel like if I get all this education, all these degrees, then he can't question my intelligence, but there are, educated fools, you know what I mean? There's a such thing as people who have PhDs and all that and still can't read. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying. You got a PhD and you can't read something. I mean, that education system failed you, or you failed yourself, child. You paid all that money and you still can't read. I mean, child, I'm just saying. It's a problem. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all get the point though. Just ish 25. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I respect you and the few sisters that defends us, but Keisha have time and time again shown prove that they are not our women. They belong to Zaddy. Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point, and I can't even argue against it because it's the truth. It's sad though, but it is the truth. And so, and they gonna have and I don't think they want to, go that route either, because that ain't looking too good either. Looking at these instances of these black women going off with these Zaddy and what's happening to them. So I don't know. They should be worried. I'm just saying, you can't trust Zaddy. I'm just saying. Thank you, Just Ish 25. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Baby, yeah, you all better be careful out there with that too. Cause baby, I don't see how you can do it. I would be, I'm just saying, scared as hell. You don't know, child. And we've always heard these little stories, about Zaddy, bury you in the backyard, you and the kids, like shit. They don't care. Bury you and the kids in the backyard and go get, because they found a new woman. I'm just saying, that's not everybody. I know some good white people. Just saying. But we've been hearing these stories since we were children, child. They'll take you, bury you, cut you in pieces, and bury you in the backyard. We've heard recent stories. This man met this woman at the church, and she put it on him real good or some child, and he went and deleted his wife and the kids, took the children, cut their legs off, and put pieces in barrels in the back of the yard. Found some barrels. The wife was pregnant. Deleted the wife, deleted the children, cut them little poor children up, put them in a barrel, child, and tried to get rid of their bodies because the woman at the church was offering him some. And then wrote a letter from his own computer. Like, I don't know what kind of letter he wrote, what it was. I don't know what the letter was about. I forget, or I forgot. But they caught him. They knew the letter was coming from his own computer and all kinds of stuff, and found them poor children, took out his whole goddamn family for another woman. And I'm just like, look, we've been warned since we were kids. I don't know. You can't really trust that. I'm just saying. Successful MD says DeeDee's preaching while cooking hyenas tacos.
Oh my God.
Preaching while cooking hyena tacos. Child, listen, child, somebody need to shit. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you. It's a mess though, but baby, I'm just saying, I don't think I don't think nobody's all good in any race or any group. I think there's good and bad in all groups. Period. Good and bad in all groups. But for some reason in our community, the black men are just always bad. And that's not. I'm not putting my sons in that group. I'm not putting my husband in that group. I'm not putting black men that I know in that group. So no, it's not all of them. I wish they would just specify, look, no, you chose to go with a Pookie and Ray Ray and give him babies, even though you know he wasn't the optimal choice. You chose, which I'm going to point to that in a video that I want to play that shows you they choose the guys. You don't prioritize what you really want, and you go after a guy because you don't care about that and you want him. But then when he turns out not to be what you need him to be, now you're complaining. But you never went into the relationship wanting any of that from him. There's a woman who basically said she didn't want marriage or didn't think about it. She just wanted a kid. How many times have we seen that? But then when it get bad, he's just a deadbeat, he's just a that. Well, you knew that already. You know what I'm saying? So, nah. It's just a big contradiction and a hot mess, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, shout out to the passport bro. Shout out to any man who decides to figure out another way to go try to get what he wants. That's what, look, life is short. You look, go after what it is that you want. You know, if it work out, it work out. If it doesn't, it don't. At least you gave it a try. And you're not just settling for anything because you think that's all that you could get. No, I don't think, just like women say they're not going to settle, I don't think men should settle either. I know I wouldn't want my son settling for a 3-time baby mama who done let Pookie run up in her all that and been ran through and that's all he could get. No, hell no. I wouldn't advise nobody to do that. For why? Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. But yeah, I just think that this is, a hot mess. I just think that this is not something that men should tolerate. I think men shouldn't settle. I think men should go after the best that they can get. Why not? Why not? If women are choosing to not settle, then men don't have to settle either. Right? And so that's how I feel about that. I want to move on. Before we get to the BBLs, I want to play this clip first because it shows you.
Yeah, let me get to this next topic.
Hold on.
What are some examples of men not stepping up? Like we hear women frequently. Let me get to this next topic. What are some examples of men not stepping up? Like we hear women frequently talk about how men aren't stepping up. What are some examples of men?
Oh, can I go first, please? Ooh. Let me go first. All right. So listen, I have custody of my grandson. He's 4, so I got to deal with my daughter and my grandson's father. So I got to be a baby father to my daughter, and I got to be a baby mother to my grandson's mother. The father don't volunteer to do anything. Nothing. I'm a single parent with their kid. So an example of not stepping up, you don't work. You could go pick them up from school. Right. So I could do some overtime, or I could go get my nails done, or I could just go do whatever, just lay and scratch my ass. He don't do none of that. So that's an example of not stepping up. You have a kid, you know you have a kid, you know your kid go to school. I'm not saying every day you got to pick your kid up, but if you know you're free, once in a while, pick your kid up from school. Give me a break.
Okay, so that's an example of a man.
A man.
What about men in general? Like, what are some examples?
Like just outside of relationship or just?
Yeah, in general, yeah. It could be relationships. It could be in general. Like,
I don't know. Come back to me because I don't know. I'm focused on single parent stuff right now.
Accountability.
Okay, give us some examples of that.
I'm a kind of piggyback off of where you came from as far as, even though I feel like these things are supposed to happen. Like you learn responsibility as a young man, right? So you're learning, then you get your responsibilities down packed. When you decide to lay down with a woman, because a lot of men hold us accountable more than they hold themselves accountable. Absolutely. And then be like, we don't hold it. Girls don't never hold it.
They don't.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Continue.
you want to say something?
I'll wait for you to finish.
Okay, so a lot of men don't take accountability for who they're with. Like if you know you don't want to be that girl's parent, her baby daddy, don't fuck her, especially not without a condom. Don't nut in her. Don't even talk to her.
I agree.
Why would you want to lay with a woman that you don't want to spend the rest of your life with or have children with? Or you don't see women qualities or mother qualities? It doesn't make sense. They could be like, well, I ain't nobody told that bitch to have my baby. I told her I ain't want no baby. But you nutted in her.
Right. I agree.
Now listen, I will say she has a point. She has a point there. Even though it's your body, your choice, you can choose to have that child or not. You can choose to sleep with the man or not, but if you think about it, if you see a woman and you clearly know, now I'm not talking about a chameleon. I'm talking about a woman that you clearly see is for the streets. She's outside and you know she outside, right? You clearly know that this ain't somebody you would ever want to be in a relationship with. You notice like she, you know what I'm saying? I look, growing up, I've seen several of women like that. They call them crackheads back in the day. I'm just saying. I'm saying a woman like that, a woman that you clearly knows is for the streets. She don't care who she sleep with. She just throwing it out, right? And she's just giving it out like hotcakes, and she's just, you know, whatever. Something is wrong with her. Why would you sleep with that woman? So see, and then you go raw dogging her, and you why? So that's where you have to be disciplined as a man, and you have to have standards. Because I think men who have standards ain't gonna go nowhere near a woman like that. So I think men have to have standards too, and you can't just be so desperate. You just put that thing in anything raw. You don't care who it is. I think that needs to change. I think men need to stop being so desperate to that point and to where you will go just bust a nut in anything. I'm just saying. I know that sounds bad, but I'm just saying, like, just whatever, slinging it. You don't care who getting it, and you raw dogging, and then you don't care who you give your seed to. Your child, like you, and then she running around here looking crazy and got a big stomach, and it's your baby in there? No. So yeah, I think there are some men out there. I don't think that's every man, but I think there are men out there who don't care, and they just don't care seeing anybody walking around with their baby in their stomach. Like you don't care. Like yeah, that needs to stop. But ultimately, you know. Women always say, my body, my choice is your choice with who you sleep with as well. It's not a one-sided thing. You have to allow somebody to come in your body. So you are very much responsible for this as well. But I do think there are some men who are just reckless in who they, you know, what they're doing. They don't care. They just don't give a damn. And I think that needs to change because, child, you just have a baby for anybody. You don't care who you put your seed in. You don't care what she look like, what she doing with her body, who she with. Like, yeah, that needs to stop as well. Let's continue.
You throw your nut behind your back the next time, or just don't do it. Don't do it. Men do not hold themselves accountable with their own responsibility as men. When you know you not that girl's type, or you know you don't want like that girl. You know that. Right. You know she fucked all your homies, bro.
And the thing is that after they get pregnant, after the female gets pregnant, they be like, "Well, I'm not ready for it." Well, are you stupid? You don't know
now gotta get in the
condoms?
book?
Like, you did it too, so now you gotta be you take up.
But see, my thing is this. He's just because you out here slinging it, of course you ain't ready to be a parent. You ain't ready for the responsibilities, just like the woman isn't ready for it either. My thing is this. If you know that if a man's just up under you for sex, he's not your man, he's not your husband, he's not nothing serious to you, you know he don't give a shit about you. So why are you out here opening that cooch up and just handing it over? You know, because you don't care either. So you're reckless and he reckless. You don't care. But you as the woman, if you don't care, and you open up your legs to whoever because you just want to have fun in the name of fun, and then he don't care, so you don't care if he just let it all go in there and you get pregnant. You don't care either. So when you get pregnant, shut the hell up or either do something about it because it's your body. You are not helpless. If you're not helpless and you ain't strapped down to the table and nobody's taking something from you against your will, then you are consenting to it and it's your body. He don't have to carry no baby. He just drop that load off in you and then you gonna be carrying the load. He don't have to carry a load. He can move on, he can leave town. He can go out the country and be gone forever and you will never see him again. And now you gonna have to make a decision whether you gonna want to go through with getting rid of the baby or you gonna carry it and have to raise it by yourself. So you're gonna have the brunt of the responsibility. So this is why I think women, you have to be more careful about who you allow in your body because you are going to have to suffer the consequences. And if you say, I don't give a damn whether I get pregnant, I don't care, well, let's just do it. We're going to just see. And then when you pop up with something, a bad disease or both, then just shut the hell up and you know, take it like a G. You know what I mean? And accept your fate because you the one allowed it. Just don't complain. Don't get on social media and start acting like you a victim because you wasn't a victim before. Unless you was a victim, then that's different. But if you're not a victim and you consented and you said you didn't care, well, when you get that, just shut the hell up and go ahead and deal with it. Deal with however you got to do with it. You know, some women get rid of the babies. Some women hand the baby over up for adoption. There are different, there's plan B. Like you could take a plan B after that and then okay. But y'all don't be doing that. Because a lot of times these women want the babies with these guys because they know that these guys have multiple baby mamas and they know that and they want to be in that rotation. They want to feel special. They want to be a part of that whole crew. But they don't say that. And then they think the baby gonna change them and it doesn't. And then they'd be bitter and angry and mad and complaining on TikTok. Just saying. Let's continue.
Can I clock in?
Clock in.
He can clock in. Like, yeah.
Whatever these kids is doing.
Clock in.
I do want to play devil's advocate, right?
Nails clocking too, period.
Because I want to ask you guys, because I agree that men should be more selective on who they getting pregnant, right? I don't take that away from. But is it fair when women, let's say a man does want that child, and a woman has the right to say no? I don't. It's my body, my choice.
I'm not ready to be a mother.
Well, first of all, this know nobody who do that.
This is something right.
That
Plan B.
Yeah, plan B works perfectly.
But whoa. Y'all spoke on
females have condoms too.
The man not wanting to be there, but let's say you got pregnant and he wants the kid. It's your body.
They don't care if that we've seen that too. They don't care. And yes, there are female condoms. Y'all seen them big long condoms, them big old long condoms you push that inside the vagina, and you can protect yourself all day. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Yeah, those female and there have been, and I said this before because I've been seeing a lot of commercials on the female condoms. They've been around. They're not new, but all of a sudden now they're promoting it because there's all these STD rates out here. Both women and men, they're coming out with blisters all over their face. They're going down and they're coming up with blisters all over their face, child. I mean,
it's a mess. They're going literally down and coming up with blisters all over their face, and the women got them on their faces too. Blisters all around their face. Blisters just nasty. Nasty.
Just nasty. So now they got female condoms. Why? Because the women are out here probably outpacing the STDs than the men. There's more of them with it than anybody. So y'all gotta start promoting the female condoms. They've been around for forever. They was always available, but nobody don't want that. Nobody don't want to do that. Everybody want a raw dog, and you don't want the raw dog consequences. I'm just saying. You don't want to be married. You don't want to be with one man. You want to be for the streets, and this is what comes with being for the streets. You get all kind of STDs, and you look a hot mess, and then you're pregnant, and you're damaged goods. It's all bad. It's all bad. And they're still trying to justify it, and like, it's not empowerment now. It's STDs right now. I'm just saying. It's not empowerment at all. Night Call 411, thank you for the super chat, says, what advice would you give a man that either didn't want to leave the country or could not financially leave the country and be a passport bro when it comes to looking for a woman/relationship? Listen, I mean, I don't know. My best advice would be, just go places where women are. And if you see somebody that you may be just approach women that, I don't think you shouldn't approach women if you're looking for somebody. Just go to settings where there would be women, and just, shoot your shot. That's all you can do. Shoot your shot and see what comes of it. Look, because I see so many men who are just so done now. It's interesting when you ask that question because it's like so many men are like, man, like somebody said, I don't even give them eye contact. They ain't even trying anymore. But I'm like, if you still looking for somebody, I mean, it's difficult because even for me as a married woman, I'm not on the dating scene, but it's every avenue. All I see is independent boss chicks, even in the church, because normally I would say, oh, go to the church. There are a lot of single women in church for sure, but a lot of them have this independent mindset. So it's kind of difficult to say, where to go. Because I'm like, where there's a gathering. I mean, these singles events, they be having people there and a lot of men don't show up to that. So that might be a place you can go. Hell, check out Kendra G singles events. They be having single people there. Wherever there are a group of single women, I guess, that's where you would shoot. I guess maybe the dating sites, that's the only thing. A lot of people don't like those, but you can meet people on them. I've never done a dating site or none of that, child. I've been married a long time. I have never done any of that, but that's what's available. Dating sites, go to places where there's a bunch of women, single women, and just approach somebody. That's all. They can only say no. That's it. And because anything else, dating sites, you can meet people on those. I will say church, but once again, a lot of these women are indoctrinated into this whole independent mindset. But there might be somebody out there who don't think like that. But where are they? This is why I say the good women going to have to make themselves known. They're going to have to put in their bios, look, I'm not an independent boss chick. I want to work with you. That's what they're going to have to start doing. Because it's becoming increasingly difficult for men to find suitable women for relationships and wives. And so, I would just say, look, use what's available and see what happens. Just try it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It won't hurt. Dating apps, maybe go to church. Who knows? I don't know. Because I don't know. Church, child, ooh, Lord, I don't know. Just go out, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't know where to tell you to go, So, just try. If you meet somebody or see somebody, say hello, shoot your shot. Just try to shoot your shot. Because if you because in this, here, there might be some good women left, but they gotta where they at, I don't know. A lot of the women now who may be potential candidates, they don't even go out. They don't even go to clubs. They don't even go nowhere, child. You might get lucky and find somebody in Walmart or Target. Go to Target. Go shop at Target. Go to Walmart. Go to some stores and stuff. You might meet somebody in the store. You might meet somebody at church. I don't know. They might be. See, church has the most freak. See, I don't know. But listen, if she a freak, maybe she'll be a freak with just you. Who knows? I don't know. But thank you, Nightcall 411 for the super chat. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your question. Yeah, I just think wherever you go, if you see somebody, just say hello, spark a conversation, and see where you go from there. And then take it from there. That's all I can say. Try dating apps. Some of the dating apps, sometimes people have success on those. And just, go to different places where some of the events and stuff, you might meet somebody. You might look up and find somebody. But it's becoming increasingly difficult for people to develop relationships because of the superficial mindset. Thank you, Nightcall. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
Your choice then, right? You could say yes, no,
allegedly.
So, right? Women grants the access to sex, first of all. So a man can't have sex unless a woman allows him to. And a woman makes the decision if she wants to have a baby or not. But a man has to live with whatever decision she makes. Do you guys think that's fair?
No, it's not. It's
not. I don't think it's fair. But first of all, I feel like the baby conversation should have been had
before you even
it's like
a large amount of people with unplanned pregnancies.
I want us to get to
We're
that.
probably all unplanned pregnancies.
Yeah, I probably am. My parents was on crack, guys. I'm a crack baby, so
No, I'm talking
they was
about
having
you.
good sex.
Your parent probably had you unplanned.
Oh, but I don't know about that.
So let me ask y'all a question. What would allow y'all to allow a man to have unprotected sex with you?
Alcohol.
What?
It wouldn't be
under the influence. I don't think right when I'm drunk. I make bad
decisions.
decisions.
You shouldn't drink.
No, that means men shouldn't get me drunk. Be responsible. Be my leader.
Sound like you was
Don't
getting
lead me to the track. Don't lead me
Yeah.
to the track. I ain't had no daddy around when I was growing up. You gotta know what I'm saying. You gotta know who you dealing with when you dealing with them. You know I ain't shit for real, and you gonna use that, and you gonna get me pregnant knowing damn well I ain't had no daddy. I'm looking for a daddy.
No, but she's right because it's.
But you know what? It's interesting how they could say, "Oh, you can acknowledge, oh, you didn't have no daddy around," but then turn around and say, "The father isn't needed for me to raise my kid. My kids don't need a father." But you can use that same logic to say, "Oh, I ain't had no daddy around. You know I ain't shit," but shows you by not the lack of having a father is partially why you are the way you are, or could be possibly why the way you are. But they can acknowledge that, but a lot of them don't want to acknowledge that. Oh, I then turn around. My kids don't need a father. But apparently, using these examples to try to justify your actions says otherwise. You do need a father. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. But if once again, it's no accountability. It's like, oh, I get drunk. I need a stranger to lead me and not take advantage. Why would somebody who don't know you? Why would somebody who's out here trying to take advantage of you help you out? You know what I mean? That's the whole point. You don't know who's out, who's the opportunist, who's trying to take advantage of you. Why would you put yourself in that position? Why would you put yourself in that position? Oh, because you didn't have a father, you don't have no guidance, and you just like to get drunk and that somebody this same way you can put yourself in harm's way when somebody could hurt you. You know, not just take advantage of you, but hurt you and more. So, child, let's continue. Hit the like button, y'all.
Circle back to pick who you're sleeping with. So
Right, like
know
you,
all
the
that,
men
choose
choose
to get her
first. I
pregnant,
don't care what nobody say.
then-
It's not our options as women to go up to men, be like, hey, because if I be like, yo, I'm feeling you, what's up? First of all, everybody
Y'all can shoot your shot. Y'all just don't shoot your shot.
I shoot my shot, but they gonna label me as they do, as the aggressor, the man eater. They feel like I'm too manly because if I see you, I see you because I'm an energy person. So
Yeah, you got to
when
approach
I
it with the
see you,
feminine
I see-
energy. Like you
yeah,
can't be
'cause
like, "Yo, what up, my nigga?" Like,
I give you some head
I see
today.
you looking good over there.
No,
Like,
I don't know about
like,
nobody else, but I'm on that, babe. You know what I'm saying? All my niggas know. I be like, hey, you looking? Can I get in your car? Yeah, what you doing tonight? Looking good.
I'm not getting in nobody car.
So, what would be a reason? What would be a reason for y'all?
It always be the ones that. Oh my God! I'm not gonna even say that. I'm about to say they always the ones looking like that, who act like that. Let's continue.
To allow a man to have unprotected sex with y'all.
When I was younger, I didn't know better, so
You didn't know better. You didn't know you could get pregnant.
I didn't get a sex talk when I was younger. My age group, we didn't get the talk. We really did not. It was don't have sex, or you're gonna get.
I had the same talk. He's like, them boys ain't gonna give a fuck about you. Don't
I
give
think
a
you're using it wrong.
Look, I just want to know because I'm hearing all the women say, "Hey, I didn't get to talk. I didn't get this. I didn't get that." So it's cool for y'all to say that, but we got to worry about where our dick's going.
No. When you younger, no one is accountable when you're younger.
Right.
No, we're not
That's
talking
the
about that.
problem.
We're not talking
That is a
about
problem.
female and men. We're not held accountable because we don't know no better. But once you get a certain age, that's when it changes.
Right.
Like me now in my 40s. If I sit here and let somebody come shoot up my club in my 40s and I get pregnant, somebody should slap me.
It would be me.
Because I know I don't want no kids.
She's right.
So why would I let somebody shoot up my club?
But you heard you just said,
What?
why would I?
I'm saying
you are
I.
responsible.
Right, no. I
both parties are responsible.
I'm responsible now because I'm older. I'm experienced.
You're
I know.
responsible too.
So I know I have the power to not let him come shoot up my club.
But see, this is the thing, and this is why I think older women should be the voice for the newer, younger women, the younger generation. The older women who understand this now, you should be able to tell younger women, hey, you have standards. Don't allow a man to run through you. Don't allow them to do this. It's your body. You can say no. It's not empowerment to go out here and just be promiscuous. But what we see, a bunch of older women telling these young girls, sleep with whoever you want. Have fun. Do what you want. This is what they're telling them.
Have fun. Do what you want. Live your life. Sleep with them all. Sleep with them all. This is what they're telling these young women. I've seen countless videos of women telling the girls, oh, just sleep with them all. Just do it. Just do it. And I'm just like,
if you don't take your old ass on somewhere and be responsible and stop telling these young girls to do what you did, and now you too old and nobody wants you, you want them to make the same mistakes. I thought the oldest women supposed to teach the younger women something better. But you have the older ones still telling these women, oh, just girl, have your fun. You don't have to get married. Don't do that. Don't require this. And so these women are confused. If you don't have parents who taught you these things, if you don't have parental guidance or you didn't have parents, then you look into social media and these Bonnie Crew Society members, the old ones, are out here telling y'all this kind of giving y'all the wrong information and y'all just eating it up. Then no, when there are people out here literally telling you the ways that you should go, but they're so indoctrinated into the foolishness they can't see anything else. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Once again, says all of these excuses to be a crumbling cookie. Right. Child, Lord have mercy. That's crazy. But thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't... Yeah, this is why I say when I see older women teaching these young women the wrong information, it just gets under my skin because I'm like, come on now, you should have, better, you've done better. Why not teach these younger women better? Because they just may not have a mother or parents or individuals to teach them and guide them, and you could at least give them some information that could be helpful to them. So yeah, I understand being young and dumb and you don't know and you have to learn, but what are you teaching the next generation? And what are you teaching your own kids? Because a lot of these people have children. What are you teaching your kids? You see what I'm saying? It's irresponsible all around to me. Let's continue.
You're not.
And I use that power now. Wrap it up.
No means no, guys.
They still try you. They still try you.
Let me put
And
the
I'm
tip
not
in.
going to hold you.
But and no me knows apply to women too. You know, I hope they know that. It ain't just no mean no. No me knows, guys. No, women, no means no to them too. Because women violate men all the time. A lot of women will force themselves on men, touch men inappropriately, doing things that if a man had done it to them, he would be in jail. But a lot of women don't go to jail for that kind of stuff because people just shoo it off. Women grope men, touch men, violate these men all the time. And they think it's cute and it's okay. Nobody bats an eye. Women grab for these men junk and just grabbing and touching on them, doing all this. They did it. Who that celebrity they did it to? Well, he had to stop the concert to tell him not to do that. They do it all the time, and nobody bats an eye. But if you was to grope a woman in her private, grab on a titty or grab between her legs, oh my God, you going to jail. You going down.
You going down. But she don't go down.
When she touching and groping over on a man, that man don't want you. We watched it on one of these streamers thing where that girl grabbed that guy, and he just got to sit there in shock. So know me knows that goes both ways. I want y'all to know, not just for men, but for women as well. Just because he's a man don't mean he wants you grabbing all over him and touching on him inappropriately or at all, period. So that goes both ways. Let's continue.
Yeah, just
protected sex and raw sex feels different.
It does.
It feels very different.
Come to me.
So
I'm
sometimes,
gonna get off this subject. I'm getting horny.
sometimes you need to feel it. Like
He's getting well on the show. Like, goddamn. Like, yo, like, yo.
Raw
So,
sex is the best.
so again, I'm not.
That's the
Matter of fact, you
line,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, okay.
You
The young. I agree with my good sis here.
Uh-uh.
So how we do with that is just be very selective on who we're doing it with, because some of us prefer
raw sex.
So with me, for example, we're either dating is the only reason why I'm gonna have sexual intercourse with you. If we're not dating,
And see what I'm saying? They just confirmed they love raw dog.
They love raw dogging. I said it before. That's what I've been saying. Y'all heard me. They love raw dogging. They just confirmed it. That's what they love. And they love it with anybody, whoever. They're gonna just raw dog anybody. Raw dog, long D Willie, you know?
I'm just saying. They love it. That's what they're saying. Blue X, thank you so much for the super chat. 225 says most educated sure has a lot of excuses. Exactly. All the time. A lot of educated fools don't know what they be talking about. You just want what you want and you don't care the consequences until the consequences hit you hard. When the consequences, I can't talk. When the consequences hit you hard, now you want to complain. Now you're the victim. So your body, your choice, even though you choose to let a man raw dog. When you get pregnant, my body, my choice. But I'm keeping this baby, even though now I got the baby. Oh my God, you know he was a deadbeat. Now he a deadbeat and I'm a victim. I'm a single mother now. I need help. And everybody's supposed to worship me because I made poor decisions and now I'm it's just all bad and I need all the help. And poor single mothers should be exalted and put on the highest pedestal because you chose to become a single mother with raw D Willie. And you take no accountability. And then you do it again because you get the praise and admiration and all this stuff for being a single mother as if you're not making horrible decisions. You're not a widow. You weren't married to your husband for 30 years and he passed away and you had children. Now you're a single mother, a widow. You're not that. No, you was out in these streets having a good old time with Raw D Willie, and you just was having a good time. You're empowered. And then when empowerment goes wrong, and now you're a victim. You're always something, you know?
Oh my God. Always something. You gotta be something. You know? No accountability whatsoever.
Just saying. Let's continue. Thank you, Blue X225 for the super chat. I appreciate you.
dating, if we're not serious, I'm celibate.
Go girl.
Yeah. Because I don't want to just I don't want to, because
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That's why that guy was linking around for 2 years, because he was trying to get that pussy.
no, he was getting that pussy.
Men lie.
Okay.
Just to get vagina.
It didn't take him 2 years to get it.
I know he was getting
Yeah,
it
you
for
give
the
it up
2
right
years,
away.
you know what I'm saying?
Because he told you he was going to have
While
your
y'all was
kids.
together, and then once you wanted a commitment, he disappeared.
Oh, well, that's bad for him. I guess.
No, it's not like, because what we're saying is he was getting all of the benefits of a relationship without being in a relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why would I commit to a relationship when I'm getting all of the benefits?
And then once you wanted the
Don't
commitment,
give him the don't have sex with somebody.
No,
He has
hold
to
it
be-
down, lock it down, keep the coochie in the.
he has to be worthy. He has to make those commitments.
I thought he was.
No,
I
you
guess
got to
it's
give the
my
coochie
fault.
up after.
He showed me that he was.
What
I
I'm
guess-
saying, I'm not saying he's not wrong, but what I'm saying is you have to hold yourself accountable. If you place this standard on him, right, and you made him,
What is
you
the
know,
standard that I place?
well, the what you want, the commitment, the relationship.
He knew
the-
this coming in, and you agreed.
He just
No, she didn't require. She didn't have certain standards that she required. Because if you require, that's like you require marriage. If you are a woman who's just set in stone, hey, I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not doing anything with you. We could build a relationship, but I'm not sleeping with you until we're married, because I need to be a married woman. And I'm not going to give you my body unless you marry me. And if you are a virgin and you never been with anybody and you're just straight like that, then you can certainly have that requirement, because you have not been touched. So I think it's fair to say, as a virgin, that's a part of your standards. That's a part of who you are. You are not giving your body to anybody unless it's your husband. I totally respect it. If you already been ran through and you already got kids and all that, I think you can require whatever it is that you want. And if you can get it, great. But I think you should at least, you don't have to make the same mistakes over and over and over, but you can certainly require a steady relationship or whatever that you're just not going to be doing. You know what I mean? It may be hard, but I'm just saying, it might be difficult to get, but I think if you are a virgin, if you've never been with anybody, then I think, and you want marriage and you want commitment, then you absolutely should be asking for that, because that's part of who you are, and you should require that, and you stand on it. And if the man is serious about you, then he will go with it. But if he's not, then he's gonna move on, because once he can't get what he wants, then he has to move on. So that's what having standards, meaning that you don't fold for a person. You stay true to what your standards are and you stand by them. And if he don't, and listen, I think if you want marriage from a man, and he says that he wants that too, then I mean, y'all build the relationship. Because to me, a man who really wants marriage and want to marry you, he ain't gonna wait super long. They don't wait super long. They already let you know, hey, they're gonna let you know, I want to marry you. I want to be with you. So you ain't gonna really have to do all that. But if he's not sure about it, then they could lead you astray too. And you don't allow that though. If the timeline is, hey, if you really want to be with me after a year, you should know if you want to marry me or not. We've been around each other all the time. If you don't want marriage, then just say so, and then we can move on. Because if that's what I want and you don't want it, then we're not aligned. And you go find somebody who want what you want, and I can find somebody who want what I want. I'm just saying. Zookeeper, thank you so much for the super chat. Says that term, shoot up the club, yuck. Most clubs have a lot of people in there partying. Please stop saying that. Right. Thank you, Zookeeper. I appreciate you for the super chat. Yeah, I guess I agree. Like, just, that's crazy. Yeah, call it what it really is. Thank you, Zookeeper. I appreciate you. Nightcall 411 says, let me remind you that in a lot of situations, the older woman is competing with the younger woman. So it's possible for a 50-year-old woman and a 32-year-old woman to be competing for the same man. True. Definitely true. Yeah, for sure. So I guess when you think about it like that, why would the older woman give the younger woman some good advice when she's competing? Exactly. Thank you, Nightcall. I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you so much for being here. You're absolutely right. They are in competition. So you want to throw them off so you can possibly get what you want. I get it. Thank you once again for the support. I appreciate you. That is a fact. They are competing, child. And even though they say they don't want to compete, I ain't competing. Yes, you are. You are competing. That is a fact. Let's continue.
Knew what you
Oh,
wanted.
he just wanted to.
He heard
agreed
you,
with what
but you didn't
wanted.
stand on it.
How? I'm not.
You got to meet a man that's already with your qualities, not try to tell him that's your qualities.
This
and he
is
go along with
somebody
it.
with a master's degree.
Oh, girl, that don't mean nothing.
9 to 5.
Smart.
That's why she wanted his baby.
I also got to remember,
he's smart.
this is 2025. There's going to be a lot of men. They're going to give you, sell your dream and put you on a pedestal.
This
Men
man
been
has-
doing that since 99 and 2000.
This, they that. They're going to give you this. They're going to give you that. Next you know, you with them. You're giving them the coochie. And next you know, they play with you. They're with somebody else.
25.
Yeah, because people forgetting.
People been
are
fucking before
forgetting.
Christ. What do you
But people are
99 and
forgetting. I'm not
2000.
talking about fucking though. I'm not talking about fucking. I'm not even talking about fucking. What are you talking about? I'm talking about commitment. I'm not talking about fucking. Fucking everybody
The
fuck.
game's been wrong.
Everybody fuck.
People was handing out bread for pussy.
But people keep forgetting. But people keep forgetting though. People are so ignorant. The world is ignorant. Where did I go wrong with the standards, not setting my standards?
So I guess after a year and you didn't see any initiative into moving more
aligned
towards your goal is when you should have just been like, you know what? That's it.
Okay. So I do agree with that because I did
Make
second guessing
excuses.
after a year, but I did give him a lot of grace.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah. Because you were looking for.
So he went Grace, go to church or something.
If
Y'all hear
y'all
that?
were engaged,
Sending y'all to church next
Yeah,
time.
go to church,
if
baby.
you were engaged, how long would you have stayed engaged before action for the wedding?
That's a good question.
I can't answer that question because I don't know. But he was looking at rings and all of that.
That don't matter.
So,
if you can't answer me how long you would be willing to be engaged, that let me know you're not really focused on what you want either, because you should have a standard. If you know you want to be married,
2 years, like put a year on the engagement.
yeah,
Where you
'cause
put the
can be
years on your
engaged-
children. You wanted
can
the
be
children
engaged
before
for
you
20
wanted marriage.
years. But you could be engaged for 20 years without any action.
See, that's a lot. And then
You just
put
wanted
a
the
man-
children. You ain't wanted the marriage.
Like,
Yes, at the point when I had kids, I just wanted my son. I just wanted.
There
a
we
kid.
go. See
I,
what I'm saying?
okay, let me explain things. Let me.
Please,
I think
please.
Yeah, okay. I would be fine at the end of the day if I don't get married, if I don't have no more kids, if whatever the standard is of society, if it don't happen for me,
It's your standard.
I would be perfectly fine. If you ask me to build my man, I will tell you the kind of man that I want. The question that came about earlier, right? But this is not something I'm dying looking for. This is not something that if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be depressed for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and you don't have to be depressed for the rest of your life, but it just shows that it wasn't a priority. And this is true, and I'm glad she's saying it. I'm glad she said it because this is the case for a lot of women. The priority was never marriage. The priority was the man and you or a child. And women have said this. I don't. That's why you have younger women repeating this. Well, I don't really know if I want to get married, but I know I want kids. So yeah, so the priority, if they're going to be honest, was not marriage. That's not what they were, because they were not raised to think that way. Most women in our communities were not raised to think about marriage first and family. They were raised by single mothers, a lot of them, and even the ones who were raised with two parents in a household still were taught to be independent boss chicks. So, and it wasn't a big deal to marry before you carry. Not for all women, but for a lot of women, they were never raised or taught to be wives. They weren't taught that when you go out on the dating scene, you better try to get your husband. You know, like the people I've seen, who I've worked with and been around who were, non-black, they were in college looking for husbands. They were in college engaged. And they were getting ready, planning marriages. While the black women that I worked with around my age at the time, we were super young, they were dating niggas in jail and had boyfriends and busting it open and busting it open for several men. Like, they weren't prioritizing marriage. They were already getting ran through, already had children, some of them. While the white chicks were doing a lot of the same things, mind you now, before they got engaged. But they didn't get pregnant for the most part. Some of them did. Now, I ain't saying none of them got, because there was some teen white girls pregnant too, okay? But what I'm saying is the majority of them were taught, go get your husband. Majority of black women were not taught, go get your husband. They were taught, go have your fun in your 20s and live it up and do you. And worry about a man later. Prioritize your careers, but have fun at the same time. That's what the majority of black women were taught, while the other groups of people were taught to get a husband. Yeah, they go sneak and be getting it in, and they make sure they got protection and they don't get pregnant. And then they go find a man that want to be that's want to marry them, and then they get their husband still. But the black women never prioritized marriage and husbands. They just was doing the fun side of it. They just did the fun side of it. And then they thought later on they would be able to catch up and get the man. No, a lot of them other girls, non-melanated women were still skinny dipping and doing all kinds of stuff. But they knew, hold up, I got to try to get a husband. So let me do that on the low while I'm courting this other guy over here to be my husband. And they end up engaged and married. The black girl don't never get married. So yeah, they were taught to do that. A lot of black women were not. So yeah, you don't go out here on the dating scene prioritizing marriage saying, hey, my goal is to be married. I'm not a hoe. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm not that. I'm not giving you my body and none of that. You like me. If you really like me, then you should want to commit to me. I'm not a hoe. I'm not out in the streets. That's the whole point of keeping yourself pure and keeping yourself for marriage, because that's the goal. You see what I'm saying? So if he wants that, then you'll prioritize that. And if he wants you and want all that, he'll commit to that if he wants you. But if he doesn't, he won't. You can't make him. A baby won't make a man commit to you. None of that. You just got a baby for him. So once again, a lot of women prioritize a child over a husband. And that's why a lot of them aren't married. Because by the time you have one child and then you have another child and then you have several children and you in a relationship and then you look around and you see other married women, then you all of a sudden say, oh, I would love to be married. I want to be a wife. Then you start putting pressure on him to marry you at that point. And he's like, damn, like I don't really want to do this. And just because we have kids, we've been doing good like this the whole time. So I don't need to marry you now. So that's how you find yourself in that situation. In a relationship with the man for 15 years with his kids, and he don't want to marry you because you never prioritized it and he never wanted to do it. And so, yeah, that's how that happens. So let's continue.
So when I say stuff like, I just wanted a kid, yes, I just wanted a kid.
Yeah,
and I had my kid. My son's father wanted a kid too. We got together. We had a kid. We have the best co-parenting, in my opinion.
Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says all the baby kids' names will be Free Willy. Ooh, child. Free Willy, yes, Lord. Thank you, Successful MD. A mess. Latrell M, thank you for the super chat. Says I would hate to have children with a woman who doesn't respect herself. Exactly. Oh my God. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, so yeah, this is why I say, look. Women, to me, it's ultimately a woman's responsibility for what happens to her body. If somebody's not taking advantage of you, we're not talking about people taking advantage of you, because that is illegal and you should be held accountable. Nobody should be taking advantage of anybody. But if you're freely giving your body to somebody, you're responsible for that. It's your body, your choice. So, but also I think with men have to be responsible as well. You shouldn't just be going around here just because you can. Just because a woman will open her legs to you freely don't mean you should just dive in, all the time. And then dive in with no protection either. Knowing that you can give this person you don't even know, don't even care about your child. Yeah, so that's where I do think men have to be responsible. While women have the ultimate say, I don't think as a man you should want to give a baby to somebody who's just out in the streets. A whorish woman, somebody you don't even like or respect, love, nothing, and doesn't respect herself. Clearly you don't respect yourself if you're just busting it open for anybody. So yeah, that's where men have to be disciplined. Thank you, Latrell. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
I've seen.
See, but when you say stuff, when some women say stuff like that, and then is upset when the man is not participating, that wasn't a requirement. You just wanted to seed. You wanted to seed. You didn't want him to step up as a father. You wanted to see. You wanted to see for yourself. You wanted to care for yourself.
Oh no! My son's father is perfectly fine.
Yeah, but
we both wanted.
Y'all didn't want to be a family. Y'all just wanted a child.
Yes.
Can I interject?
It doesn't. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah. What did you want to say? Go ahead.
We were talking about your boyfriend. Mm-hmm. How we get to your baby father?
I'm not sure at what point it picked everything just.
She was saying like she just wanted a kid, like so she didn't want the
she wanted
marriage,
a kid with the boyfriend. That's how we started.
Mm-hmm. But she's saying if she didn't have the kid, she was.
So you had a boyfriend and you already had a kid, is what you said.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you wanted him to be a family man, and you wanted to be married and have more kids.
To have more kids with him.
Exactly. So then you said you didn't really care about being married. You just wanted a kid. So I'm gonna ask you if you didn't really care about for the boyfriend. We were talking about the boyfriend.
No, the not caring about marriage and just wanted a kid. at the time in my life when I met my baby father, I just
the baby father. Okay.
Right, but no, you just said just now, if I don't end up with the wedding and the marriage like society want me to, I'm okay with that. You just said that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if you're okay with that and you had the boyfriend, you could have stayed with him because you didn't really care about being married anyway.
I didn't want to stay with him either, though, because that's what we agree on in the beginning. If we agree on something in the beginning,
I get the confusion though. It's like, why did he have to step up to that standard that you said you don't want?
because that's what he agreed to in the beginning. We spoke about it from the beginning of the relationship.
But you really didn't care.
I don't care because I'm not gonna. It's not like, okay, maybe not. Don't care is not the right word. I'm not gonna kill myself if it doesn't happen. I'm gonna still be a happy woman. Is what I'm trying to say.
Strong black
Some
woman.
people fixate on that stuff. Like, I have to get married by 35. I gotta get married by this time. I gotta have kids by this time. I'm cool with whatever. I can't control. Yeah, I'm cool with whatever happens. If I meet a guy, he falls in love, we get married, we get married. If I don't meet a guy, we don't fall in love. Like, I can't control what my future is. I can
I
pray
think
for the best.
I think a lot of times in these conversations, when like we spoke about generational curses and stuff like that.
Right.
I'm not married, but I'm an advocate for marriage because I think when you go that marriage route and then the kids and then X, Y, and Z, you tend to have a better success rate when it comes to raising children.
My parents
Now we're a lot of our kids are being raised in single parented households or like the broken homes or everybody thinks that this co-parenting, we haven't figured co-parenting out. The co-parenting is new in our society. Like, we never did co-parenting and we're trying to figure it out now and it's not working. Like,
Okay, but speaking on generation, there's also people that want to go back to the generations. There's households of people staying in toxic relationship, or because they're trying to keep the
family
together. Right.
I think that's okay.
And I think, and that's what a lot of our parents grew up on, the toxic household, and they had to stay that way because we got to hold this together. We can't.
But I want to speak on the toxic household thing, and I think that's a point that a lot of people bring up to justify their own actions. And the truth of the matter is, you don't really know what's going on in somebody's household. It could be a tug of war, it could be a horrible situation, or it could not. The problem is, I think people think when they say toxic, and I think they overuse that word, you use toxic for every little issue that comes, every problem, everything that comes up is toxic. Some women consider something toxic when a man does not want to acquiesce to their wants. When a man does not want to do what they want him to do, they call him toxic. So we got to really re-identify the term toxic and what is and really look at what is considered toxic. If a man is brutalizing you and beating you your head between the washer and the dryer every single day, he just wake up beating your ass, and he's toxic to you, the kids, he beating the kids' ass, he just a crazy mess, and you don't report him or you don't send him to jail, he just keep doing that, and every day you just staying there because you scared to leave, then that might be considered toxic. If you're telling me toxic is a man does not want to do everything that you want to do, and he's just not, he's a man of certain standards and morals, and he has certain values that you were accustomed to or you were already accustomed to, and he just don't take your shit, and he has a stern way of living and teaching his kids and living and raising his kids, and he has a certain pattern or a certain way he wants to live his life, and you are a part of it, then I wouldn't consider that toxic, because a lot of times y'all know who y'all dealing with, y'all just don't like it. And you want them to be something other than who they are. This is why I think it's important to know who you're dealing with. Learn the person that you're with to see if this is something that is compatible with what type of life you want to live. And that way you can avoid being in a long-term toxic relationship with a person. You know who they are. You know if this is something you want to be a part of, and if you don't have to. But people don't do that. You don't vet the person well enough, and then you jump into something, sex with them, and then y'all create children, and you create a lifestyle together, you create a home together, and then you want to complain about the person being toxic because they don't want to do what you want them to do, and they have their mindset on how they want their life to be, how they want to raise their kids, and you got to go with it, and you mad because you don't want to go with it. So that could be considered toxic. And I think a lot of our grandmothers and the women in the families before us were married till somebody died, till death did them part, because that was a part of their vows. They honored their vows. They did what they were supposed to do. They stayed in the marriage for better or for worse, sickness and in health, rich or for poor, all the things. until one of them passed away, and then the commitment was over. But they took it seriously. But now people are making it seem like, oh my God, it all had to be so bad. Those people probably had bad times. They had good times too. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. They honored their vows. Now people just like, oh well, I'll get married, but until this marriage serves me, then I'm staying until it doesn't serve me and I'm out. So that just means that if you don't get your way in this marriage, then you just leave and you'll go try to find another one. And I think now people don't take marriage seriously at all. And then they make excuses as to why they don't get married or why they've never been married, because you don't want to really honor those vows. And even some people try to change the vows to match what they wanted to match. Like the for richer or poor part. The woman was like saying for richer or for richer. I'm like, it's a joke to people now. So they don't take it seriously. They don't honor the vows. They just do it because it looks cute. You want a big show, and that's it. And when things start to get rocky, you bail the first chance you get. So yeah, so it's not the same. So it's not that everybody's marriage was so bad and all this. No, you just making excuses because you don't want to do what's necessary to get a marriage and to keep it. That's just my take on it. Whitney 9575, thank you so much for the super chat, says, I would get my hair done at the salon, and whenever the women talk about sex, the vulgarity is outrageous. Like, wow, they be doing all types of stuff. And listen, Whitney, you are absolutely right. And that's why I be saying these women aren't innocent women. They're not, you know what I mean? These women are getting it in. They're doing what they want to do. And when somebody starts to talk about the promiscuity in our communities and how bad it is, and then women are out here just doing the most and all this for these men and these random men, they don't want to hear that. They're like, oh well, they try to just brush it off. Like, but yeah, they be doing all kinds of stuff, and this is why a lot of men look at this and say, nah, this is not. And even the men that they're doing it with, they're like, nah, this is not wifey material. This is not wifey material. And these men, see, the men calculate things up here. They decide whether you're going to be somebody men put women in categories, just like women do it too. Men do it too, but women don't think about men at all. They only think about themselves. Thank you, Whitney. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate your support. Thank you, love. I think a lot of women do things and they don't consider that men might do some of these things as well. And so men put a lot of these women in a category when they meet them. They know, hey, you might be a bird brain, you just a hoe, you're this, you're that, you're that. They look at you too. They recognize who you are as well. And so men decide, and there are men, and a funny thing, some of these men will be in relationships with these women because like, okay, she relationship material, but she not wifey material. They even categorize that. I'll be with her or whatever. She got a kid, someone be with her. But then these men already know that this is not somebody they're gonna marry. This is somebody, oh yeah, I'll kick it with you and we'll do whatever. Woot-de-woot. That's what they say. But I ain't marrying her. She ain't marriage material. And they already done figured that out. Then these women be thinking that, oh, because he with me, or and oh, I wonder if he'll marry me. Why don't you marry me? And then they start proposing to the men. It's like, no, he already put you in the category, boo. You're not marriage material. He'll hang around you just to have the benefits. He can screw you whenever you want, I guess, if that's available. And she in her mind saying, I'm a good woman. I've given everything to this man. You might be, but he's already made up his mind. You're not marriage material. And so he don't marry you. The women that are marriage material get married. Just saying, because the men decide. You can think yourself that you're marriage material, but nobody ever proposed to you. So it doesn't validate you. To me, when a man decides this is a good woman, I'm going to marry her. I want to be with her. I'm going to put a ring on it because this is what I want. They make that decision, not you. Night Call 411, thank you for the super chat, says, DeeDee, the woman in the video said that her and her boyfriend wanted a child, but she didn't want to be married. Right. Outside of bringing a child into this world, I challenge you to find a silver lining to her logic. Right. You're right. So she said, her and her boyfriend wanted a child, but she didn't want to be married. Right. Because once again, thank you, Night Call 411. I appreciate you. Yeah. And I think that's just something we see a lot of. And I think that's the problem. And now people are literally minimizing marriage. They don't see the point of it because they don't think that they're going to get it. And it's something, once again, that they did not prioritize. It doesn't make sense. And this is what you hear even younger women, the little kids now are saying, I want kids, but I don't want to be married. I'm like, where are they picking this up from? They're picking it up from their mothers and the women around them. You would rather have a child with a man and don't prioritize marriage because they don't see marriage as of any importance. But you see committing yourself to a person in a way with a child or connecting yourself to a person with a child, you don't think that child that you need to be married to do that. And they don't think so. And then you get the child with the person, then y'all break up. Somehow miraculously after they had a child, they end up breaking up. And now broken homes automatically. So this child don't have a chance. So, but a person is good enough for you to risk your life to go and lay down and go under the knife or push a baby out, which, could be very dangerous. But you don't think that they should be your husbands. You don't see that point. Yeah, that's why I say a lot of women are screwed. Thank you, Night Call 411. I appreciate you. Azul Maswala. I hope I'm saying your name right. Feminists love to use the word toxic to say that he doesn't let me get away with my BS. Exactly. It's easier to have a kid than have a relationship. Crazy. Exactly. Oh my God. But then those relationships never work out. Either you with somebody don't want to marry you and you give him a baby because you're attached to him. You like him so much, even though he ain't gonna marry you. He got 3 other baby mamas, but you want that baby so you can be attached to him. Even though you settling for the bare minimum. This is why they say they won't settle for the bare minimum, because you've done it before. It's all too familiar. So now you just won't do it, but now your requirements are through the roof and no man ain't gonna give you that looking at your history or your past. So you just setting yourself up for failure, in my opinion. Thank you once again for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's continue. Okay, so I don't know why this clip is. Let me remove it and put it back. Let me see. It's not playing. But anyway, let's move on. I was moving on from that anyway. It's just crazy. Shout out to the Daily Wrap Up crew. Child, it's just, and this is why I say women are the ones who have to make the most changes. You know what I mean? I do. I really do. I really think women are the ones who need to make the most changes. I do. And some people agree with that. Some people disagree. But I do think that women are the ones who have to make the most changes. And I don't think men, I'm not saying that men don't have to make changes, but I think women have to make the most changes because women have been coddled. They've never been held accountable, and that's why they hate accountability. Because anything you say about a woman making changes, they throw it back at the men. And I'm like, okay. Even if we say men need to make changes, so do you though. So what are you going to do as the woman in the situation to better your outcome, to better your chances for what it is that you say you want? What are you going to do? And I think that's the part where they don't like, because it's like, damn, why I got to be held accountable for something. What I'm doing, me having a vagina is not enough. And I think that whole use what you got to get what you want concept is getting old. It's ratchet. It's done. It's tied. It's through. Men don't see that anymore. Men are not just as open and accepting to these types of women. And on top of that, what's making it worse are these superficial expectations. These unrealistic expectations that I speak on all the time are like the icing on the, it's like I don't want to say icing on the cake because icing and cake is good, but I want to say like, the gravel in the dirt. I don't know, something bad all around. It's like the worst on the top of the dirt. You know what I'm saying? What's worse on top of the shit on the dirt? Maybe, I don't know. Or the shit in the grass. I don't know, child. Oh my God. I don't know. It's not good at all. It's like they're making it worse with these unrealistic expectations. Y'all already are independent. You were taught to and raised to be that way. You're already superior to men. You already think you're better than men. You already have this masculine frame. You already feel like, you had to do it by yourself. So now when you get a man, he got to do the most. You weren't raised or taught how to work with a man. You thought the man is just supposed to give you everything, and you have no clue of what to give him. You have no clue of how to show up for the man that you want. the man that you require all of this stuff from, you have not a clue of how to show up for him. And so this is why those relationships don't work. And this is why these men don't go, first off, because a lot of these women are overweight. And that's one of the main things that men speak about. They don't want no overweight woman. A lot of y'all are single mothers. That's another thing. Men are saying, men who don't have kids and are successful say they don't want no single mothers. Hell, even men with kids don't want single mothers. So y'all have already messed up there. A lot of y'all are way overweight. A lot of y'all are entitled. And you're boss chicks. You don't need a man, but you want one. All of those are red flags to a stable man who's looking for a wife and to build a family. All of the things that women provide are the exact the red flags that men don't want. And they don't know how to digest that. And they hate to accept the fact that they are the problem, that they are not what most men are most stable men are looking for. Now, if you're dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray, he don't give a damn what you do. That's the thing. He don't care what you do. And so y'all been skating around with these Pookies and Ray Rays because they really don't care what you do. And so it's made it easier for women to just do whatever, and men just, and the men that they're dealing with accept it until they don't. And so then now when you have men who actually have standards that you have to provide more than just your vagina and more than just your, your manliness, then they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And so I think that is part of the problem. That is part of the problem. So let's move on. I want to get to this clip, y'all, before we wrap up. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. 103 people in the building. 100 and we got the likes up. Yay!
Oh my God!
Yay! So we got the likes up. I appreciate it. Let's move on to this next clip, you guys, because I think this is interesting. Here we go. Now, shout out to her name, Patience Exina. I hope I'm saying her name right. This comes from her channel. Shout out to her. I'll try to put the full link of her video in the description, but listen to what she had to say. Before we get into it, let me read this super chat. Latrell M, thank you for the super chat once again, says rejection is as tough for women as bad. Rejection is as tough for women as a bad relationship. Though they prefer peace, dignity lies in facing hardship. Some are so delusional they fail to perceive the struggle in which they live. Oh my God, very good point. Very good point. Very good point. Yep. Though they prefer peace, dignity lies in facing hardship. So some are so delusional they fail to perceive the struggle in which they live. I think that's a very good point, Latrell. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah. Yep. Let's continue.
Hello, my dears. For a long time, OnlyFans was viewed as the women's get-rich-quick scheme. And the myth that OF is an easy way to make money still seems to linger today, with reports stating that some female students have admitted that they would turn to OF if money was tight. We've also heard that it's apparently empowering and it allows women to take control of their sexuality while simultaneously freeing them from the more exploitative sides of the patriarchal sex industry. But now with so many young girls joining the platform, we don't really need to speculate about the potential harms or consequences, because now they are taken to the internet to share with us themselves exactly what the costs have been for them for joining this platform. Firstly, no, it definitely is not easy money. In fact, the average creator makes less than $200 a month. Now that it's become a lot more saturated because more people know about it, there's a lot more competition. Add on top the fact that there are high-profile influencers as well as celebrities joining the platform, and it just generally makes it very difficult for your average woman to succeed, especially now that a lot of social media apps have become a lot more strict. So it's made it a lot more difficult for people to promote their profiles. So if you're thinking, damn, money is tight, why don't I just flash for some cash? Honestly, you are much better off finding whatever minimum wage job you can get your hands on, because one, it will pay you more, and two, it will come with less of the consequences.
She said you might as well go and get you a minimum wage job, baby. Oh my God. That's how bad it is. They're not. And see, once again, this has to be men who are moving away from the sex culture. I said this before, and many others have said it. You know, when men decide, that's when things are going to start to shift. When men decide, when men make their decision to move away from all of this is when these women are really going to feel the pinch. Men do have the control over this aspect of it. You know, women control their bodies and what they do with it, how they objectify their bodies, how they, put themselves out there, who they sleep with, all of that. But men control the narrative because men are the ones who predominantly support these types of things. OnlyFans, any type of, hoish subscriptions, any type of, sex stuff, men control that narrative. And I don't know, women walk around and say, oh, we don't need men. I beg to differ. You only looking at a small incremental part of everything. This is what I say women do. Women don't know how to look at the full lens and the full scope of stuff. You only see a small part, and if that's what you want to do, you just run to do it. But you don't look and analyze how this is going to affect the overall picture. I pointed this out between me and my husband. I realized that too. He thinks of a bigger picture when he's talking. We've had these conversations before where, he'll say this, he's doing this, X, Y, Z. And I'm like, why? But why don't we do it like this? We don't do this. That's me. Why? You know how we do. Why we don't do it? Like, why we don't? Then he has to finally break it down and say, look, this is why X, Y, Z. This is what I'm doing. And look, and this is for this. And he's thinking full spectrum. I'm thinking minuscule because that's how our brains work sometimes. And then I'll get it. Oh, I wasn't thinking that far out, or I wasn't thinking like that. And this is why I say women have to understand men. It doesn't make you make me a worse person. No, it's just the truth of the reality is I'm not thinking as big as he is. I'm thinking on one point of something. He's thinking bigger. So this is why I say and this is why we how women and men clash sometimes, because women only see a small certain way of something and they don't see it all. And then you got to explain to them then they get it. And some of them never get it. So yeah, they don't think, oh, we don't need men. If you alienate men, don't you know you alienate them in every way? When your car breaks down on the side of the road, ain't no man stop for you. You're like, oh, she got it. That's the independent woman. And that could affect us all, Oh, a man fighting her? Well, she probably started because they're aggressive and they like men anyway, so she can handle her own. I ain't getting involved. Oh, OnlyFans. Oh, yeah, y'all know the majority of men are the ones who watch and patronize y'all, right? But if you alienate them and start acting like you're brand new, like, oh, we don't need men, they're just dusty. Oh my God, they're bottom of the barrel. A lot of those men are paying those whatever $12.99 subscriptions to watch you, right? So if you alienate men, then all of that goes away. Oh my God. They don't think like that until it happens. Then they're like, oh my God, what happened? You put yourself out here in a provocative manner, showing TNA all day. Eventually, it becomes nothing to men. Men are desensitized by it. They've seen so much of it. You've put it on display so much, now they don't want to see it. There's nothing to the imagination. Once again, women don't understand men. You over-sexualize yourselves too much. And when there's been multiple videos of women trying to get the attention of men with their butts out and jumping and running in front of the men. The men walk past them like they blind. Oh my God. And they looking around like, what the hell is going on? See, you don't understand the full picture. And now that you're starting to see, now they crashing out and wondering what the hell is happening. Ghost Introvert, thank you so much for the super chat. Says DeeDee, respectfully, I love you. Love you back. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for the support. Ghost Introvert, love the name. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Shout out to you. But yeah, it's just, it's just a hot mess. And like I said, it's not a problem until it's a problem. You don't realize the effects of what you're doing until it's too late. There we go. Vivica Fox, 60 years old. I want a man.
Hold on. I want a man to know who and what I am, to take me shopping. I need a man to take me shopping who respects who I am and knows who and what I am. And she's saying that who and what I am, they don't give a damn who and what you are at this point. With love, Miss Vivica. You're old, you're past your prime, honey. These men ain't worrying. You considered a senior citizen at this point. What man is going out his way to be with her?
If we're going to be honest. So They don't realize it though until it's too late. And you know, you don't have to just, you know, you still live your life and be happy. But you got to accept and recognize what it is. That's all I'm saying. Don't be delusional. Be aware of what's happening. That's all I'm saying. And stop trying to blame it on others. Just accept what it is. Like I said, we all got to die. You got to accept that at some point, right? Live your best life. And don't worry about what people are saying and stop complaining. That's all I'm saying. Stop the complaining. Take whatever you got and move with it and accept the truth about it. You know, stop being in denial and being delusional because that don't help you. This just keeps you bitter and aging horribly. That's all I'm saying. You age much better when you're at peace and you accept the fate that you've created, you know? And who knows, you might get something better out of it. But if when you're bitter and you're always mad and blaming people, it just ages you quite quicker. You know, just accept it and move on and live your life and don't worry about what nobody say. Successful MD says they will be left with pookies and pets. DND wins. Oh my God. Thank you, Successful MD. I appreciate you once again for this super chat. Child, yeah, it's just a mess. They're in denial. You know, most women think that they're going to be beautiful their whole life. Like they're never going to age. We've seen some beautiful women age horribly. They don't even look like themselves. So if you live to get old enough, you're going to age. We all got to age. You start to see wrinkles. You start to see a change. It is what it is. You can only pull. If you decide to pull and nip and tuck, you're going to do that so much. You can't look at Jermaine Jackson. Jermaine Jackson. I wish I had a picture of him. Jermaine Jackson, to pull his face so tight, his ears look different. And I mean, they done pulled and tucked that skin behind his ears so much the ears are long. And so, yeah, but shout out to Jermaine Jackson. It just, you know, you got to age. He looks good otherwise, but his face is tore apart. And that hair, he just won't let go. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's just an example. And that's a man. So, you know, everybody, the women too. Y'all, all these women, you know, how they say, the women, how it go? The men age like wine and the women age like milk. It's the truth. It's the truth. Thank you once again, Successful MD. So, I mean, look, just live your life, child. JSU Tiger 07, thank you for the super chat. It says, Kevin Samuels called it when he said the famous quote, when OnlyFans stops, Subway will be hiring. And he sure did. And Subway is hiring. Go get you a job, baby. Go get you a job because once again, you didn't look at the bigger picture. You thought this was going to be forever. The ones who made a lot of money are doing that. The money is drying up and now they looking around. Now you tired and you through, these men ain't supporting it. So y'all better be careful what you saying. Out here, men out, we don't, because I make more money than most of these men. And the men are the one who's allowing that to happen. Y'all, men are the ones who allow these women to get this money and get this big head. And think that they're better than you. And y'all men are the ones contributing to this foolishness. So now that it's shifting, now let's see how they talking. They ain't talking that big talk now. They scared like, oh, we gonna have to go work at Subway. What's happening? And then you spend everything that you get, so you really don't have much left. And now you're from check to check, you know, trying to make it happen. And you can't afford this lifestyle that you created. And now you want men to come and take the spot and fill it up and be with you. Hell no. Thank you, JSU Tiger 07. I appreciate you. Oh my God. Let's continue.
So let's actually talk about those consequences, shall we?
Okay, I don't know why. Let me try to share it again. I don't know why. The clip is not playing, but let me try it again. I'm gonna try to put it back in. Give me a second. Now I gotta try to find it. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button.
For a long time, OnlyFans was viewed. Hello, my dears. For a long time, OnlyFans was viewed as the women's get-rich-quick scheme, and the myth that OF is an easy way to make money still seems to be more exploitative side. Joining the platform, we don't really joining them, especially now that a lot of So let's actually talk about those consequences. Not like how it's going to affect your dating life or how it carries a lot of social stigma. I know that you know. You know? I'm much more interested in discussing the sides that are probably less discussed. Like, since we are on the topic of money, I think that someone who is considering doing OF as a way to up their salary or up their income because their job isn't paying them enough should probably reconsider that. Because in some cases, there have been, or many cases rather, a lot of people who have tried to join OF in order to try and increase their monthly earnings have actually been discovered by their employers and as a result have actually lost their job, which puts them in an even worse financial position than before they started. Another thing to also consider that a lot of people think they can get around is your family finding out about your content. Not only finding out, but in some cases even subscribing. Stepfathers have subscribed or their dad's friends.
Have you like recognized any of the names in here of people that you might know?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's
Oh my
some guys
God,
that
that's
actually
that girl.
say, like, we used to go to school together.
Wow.
Or some like,
Isn't that girl who been with 1,000 men? Child. Who they say is now pregnant, isn't it her? Child.
like dad's friends and stuff like that.
What messaging you?
Yeah. I just tried to keep it very professional.
Yeah, it's all
Professional.
quite
Did she
weird.
say professional?
And I think it is also important to remember that there are all sorts of characters on the internet, and there are some people who are spiteful enough to find out who your family are and actually deliberately send them this type of content. This is something that many creators have discussed happening to them. One creator is Lily Phillips. She's been candid about the fact that her parents, in particular her dad, has been sent content that she's posted on her OF page.
Has someone ever messaged your dad besides Aunt Sarah?
Yes. I mean, my dad's had like my own nudes sent to him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Videos, papers, news articles, phone calls.
What does he say? Like, does he message you like, yo?
No, it was more of a tearful phone call of, I don't appreciate seeing that.
Okay.
I do think that as you become
That's
more and more
sad.
successful and well known on the platform, this kind of stuff is just way more likely to happen to you. And so I do think that if anyone was to try and join the platform, they should go in it with the assumption that your family, especially your parents, are going to find out. Speaking of Lily Phillips, Stacey Dooley actually did a documentary on her, and I found it really interesting because we got to meet her parents. Listening to her parents share how they feel about what she does was actually quite hard to watch because it was like listening to an intervention for a drug addict as their parents beg them to stop what they're doing while telling them how it's harming them. Except the problem is the addict is not yet ready to sober up. Within the documentary, her parents expressed their desperation for her to stop what she was doing, stating that they would give her anything if it could make her stop doing the extreme stunts that she was doing. Even going as far as to offer to sell their house and give her the money if it's money that is motivated.
Girl, now why would you want them
But
to do
all their
that?
pleas, unfortunately, do land on deaf ears, as Lily does make it very clear that she has no intention of stopping, although she does acknowledge that her choice is selfish.
Sometimes I guess it just makes me feel quite selfish to put my parents through that. I mean, also,
Girl, you keep on, and when your coochie fall out, child, then you won't be forced to stop. You know, people's coochies have fell out. Your coochie fall out from all of that pound town, child, and when it's so messed up, what that surgery can't fix, then you're gonna be forced to stop. That's the thing. You gotta force them to stop, girl. And who wants their coochie to fall out? I'm just saying. Why would you go so much? Your parents, I wouldn't want my parents to sell their house, but girl, you gotta take all that for you to stop. That coochie, that coochie is not meant to be ran through like that. Your vagina is not meant to be ran through like that. I don't know. Overuse of anything is gonna tear it down. I'm just saying. When that thing is bust open so bad and tore down and falls out, then what you gonna do? You can't do nothing with that. I'm just saying, like, Jesus, girl, doesn't have to take all of that. That is not meant to overuse like that. You can manipulate anything. That is too much manipulation to that area. And then you don't take breaks. Hopefully do she take breaks? I mean, I'm just saying, like, wear and tear. Wear
and tear is real. You gotta be careful, honey. Like, you gonna be forced to stop. Shit.
I'm just saying. It ain't meant to be like that. 87 Stevens. Says the Grand Canyon. Oh my God. I'm just saying. But if it falls out, ain't nobody gonna do nothing with that. Can't nobody do nothing with it. It's gonna be over. And just go live with your parents and spend some time with them, because ain't nobody can't do nothing with that. Just saying. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's continue.
To me, it is selfish.
Is it easier to just not talk about? Yeah, it's just easier not to talk about it because then no one gets upset.
Exactly. And so when I'm around my parents, it's so wholesome. We don't even talk about work. We're just back to like.
It's quite clear based on how upset she is that this is probably not something she really actually thought about. I doubt that she actually considered how this could affect the people she loves. I think for many young women who join this industry, they might have considered the consequences when it comes to themselves, but they often don't think about how those consequences will extend to the people they love. Because ultimately, we are living in a time where people say, do whatever makes you happy, but we don't exist in a vacuum. So although you might be signing yourself up for things while you understand the consequences for yourself, it's also important to remember that the consequences don't end with you. But to be honest, even if Lily was to quit, there's no guarantee that her parents would stop experiencing all of this harassment, as we've learned from other creators like Nala Ray.
Like on the outside of that, there are huge consequences to your actions. Like the amount of people that have like sent me and my husband death threats, the amount of people who have sent my husband things from my past consistently week by week is like so hard for him to deal with. And then for me to be like ashamed about, because I'm constantly being reminded of the things I've done when I just want to live. I'm out of it now. I know I'm out of it, but yet I keep getting brought back to that because of ignorant people on the internet wanting to remind me of the consequences that I deserve now, in their head.
What I also did find really interesting about listening to Lily Phillips's parents is they offered some extra nuance into this rising trend that we've seen of these OF girls saying how their parents support them and what they're doing. And Lily is one of these creators who used to say that her parents are very supportive of her. They say within the documentary that what they thought she was doing was just posting kind of the pictures that a lot of girls post on Instagram. Lingerie, bikini shoots. And I guess they probably didn't see a problem with that because they essentially just viewed it as glamour modeling. I mean, after all, like there are a lot of mainstream high-end fashion models who pose like that and who have those kind of photo shoots. So I guess they probably didn't see it as distasteful. And Lily herself also admits that she definitely downplayed what she was doing and she wasn't entirely honest with her parents about the extent of the kind of content she was posting online. However, as she became a bit more infamous because of her stunts, they inevitably found out what she was doing and they weren't very happy about it. And so I do wonder if this could be the more realistic circumstance of some of these parents who we hear are apparently supportive. Are they truly supportive, or are they just not aware of what OF actually is? And so
I think a lot of the parents don't really know what's going on until they find out. And so they may have been supportive in the beginning because they were unaware of what it entailed. And then when they find out, they realize, oh my God, stop it right now, But then they don't stop it. And then, to speak to the other girl's point is that, people are reminding her of what she did. No, this is the consequence of you putting that out there. Whatever you put on social media, it's there. And it's not going away because people are clipping it and clipping it and clipping it. It's everywhere. And just when you think when you decide, oh, I want to get away from it, things have a way of coming back and haunting you. That's just that's life, really. You can't really escape. And that's the part that I think they realize. Once you put it out there, it's out there and you can't escape it, And so this is, and that's why it's a serious thing and it has to be a decision. I would say that you don't have to do that. And if you don't want those types of consequences, don't put yourself in that position because it's going to be out there. You can't, it's sort of like when Kim Kardashian did that sex tape with Ray J. And years later, her kids stumble upon it on his, what is it, that little game? Those kids, Roblox, the kid is playing a kid game and the ad shows his mother in a a tacky way, it goes to show you years later this stuff comes back to haunt you. And she had to get Kanye at the time to remove that or whatever, but it just shows you that stuff is forever. And no matter how you try to escape it, it's going to come back at some point. So if you don't want that, why put yourself in that position? But that's, once again, nobody thinks of the full picture, or they don't care because they're getting paid for it. Bottom line, let's continue.
Might not really think of it as anything more than just being a YouTuber. Then I imagine you
Right.
have the parents like Lily Phillips's parents who don't approve of what she's doing and have gone as far as to try and get her to stop. However, if they don't want to stop, you're kind of forced into making two choices. You either have to just unfortunately tolerate it, because the alternative is to potentially be estranged from your daughter. Because it's not uncommon for people to end up not speaking to their parents because they fall out over the fact that they're doing this kind of content. But there are, of course, those parents that are the exception who actually genuinely do support their daughter in doing this. Like Bonnie Blue's mum, for example. I saw her Channel 4 documentary, and it was quite interesting to hear Bonnie Blue's mum say that she basically essentially believes that everybody's morals and values would take a nosedive into hell if they were offered £1 million. I personally think that's more of a projection, but you know, it's quite clear that she does support her daughter because of the fact that she understands just how lucrative this is. I do think the internet is quite interesting because it definitely has rewired our psychology. Because I do think that because things are online, people treat them with a lot less seriousness compared
That's
to
true.
if the exact same thing was happening offline.
That's
I mean,
true.
after all, we hear people saying things like the internet is not a real place or social media isn't real life. I think it's very easy for people to feel disconnected from their online selves, and so they might post and do and say things that they would never do in public or do
Right.
in person. People might feel very comfortable posting revealing images of themselves or posing in very skimpy bikinis or lingerie online, but they would never, for example, walk like that in the street. Now, I know some people might say I'm comparing apples and oranges, but in reality, the internet is like a digital street. You don't know these people. You have no idea who they are. You have no idea what they're doing with your content. And so how different is it to just going out in the street where you're exposing yourself to people who you don't know? Yeah, sure, in the real world, you'd be exposing yourself to potential physical harm and physical harassment. However, online, you're still exposing yourself to digital harm and digital harassment, whether it's people sharing your stuff and leaking it all over the internet or sending it to your family members. And I feel like nothing really shatters the whole notion that what happens online stays online than stalking.
Over the last 2 years, I have reached my financial goals, but it came with costs that I never fully anticipated. I have been stalked multiple times. I have filled multiple police reports. I've filed restraining orders, and my anxiety is at an all-time high. The private life that I thought I could keep outside of social media is getting harder and harder to protect every single day. I've also had a break-in that forced me to increase my personal security.
So no, this stuff definitely does not stay online, and I also think that it's quite naive to think that it can't have real-world in-person consequences. And I do think a lot of people would act differently if they treated the internet like the street.
Yeah, listen, I agree with what she's saying. She's making a lot of sense because it makes a lot of sense. You know, the things that you post on social media, you know, the things that you do has a direct effect in your real life, in the real world. You know what I mean? And I think people should take it with with caution and take it seriously. You know, it's like people, you know, there's cyberbullying and all types of things that happens on social media that people don't see it as such. But there are, you know, a lot of those things could be considered crimes. One thing we've seen with the brick lady, you know, she was making threats and doing all types of things and lying and all that, and she did it online, and she didn't think that there was going to be consequences for it. But now she was arrested, and you know, and you know, a lot of things happened because of that, and a lot of people are shocked because they're like, wait a minute, you know, they don't think that the things that they do online has any real world consequences, and it does. And it's no different with OnlyFans, sex work, how you present yourself online. All of that has people are losing jobs because of things that they post online. You know, look at the people who made the video at the what restaurant was that? I forget, where they shaking their tits in the camera, making a video, and all of them got fired. I think it was at a Chick-fil-A, right? Where all these people got fired for doing that TikTok challenge. You know, there's certain things you can't do when you're at a place of business, and people just think it's okay. Oh my God, because it's just for TikTok. No, but TikTok, you know, in a workplace, you can't do certain things. Same thing you with nurses doing certain things online for fun. you have to be careful because there's certain policies that you must follow, and people just think that social media is separate, and now it's not. And so, you know, you have to be cautious. And for certain, OnlyFans, sex work, and all this kind of stuff that you're putting out here, this stuff is going to follow you probably for the rest of your life. So if you don't want to ever see your naked body popping up somewhere, and you have kids now, and you think, oh my God, I'm married and I have kids, and you're hiding that part of your life, and you don't want nobody to know about it, baby, you might as well come clean and say what it was, because somebody gonna find it. It could be your mama, your daddy, a coworker, or your child, your new husband. They gonna find it, and then now you got some splaining.
You have some splaining to do. You know what I mean? You have some splaining to do.
Just saying. So you might as well come clean, or just not do it at all. So you don't even, at least you don't have to worry about that. Hell, you gotta worry about how many, you know, you gotta worry about the men, worry about how many men have been ran through you. So just get that out. So you don't want to have, on top of that, you want to be worried about doing sex work. Like, all of it sex work, but I'm just saying, like, Jesus Christ, like, maybe you want to just not do none of that shit. Just take the boring route. Take the boring route where you don't have to worry about that. When you do meet somebody, they don't have to worry about that. You could go on. And that's one less thing you got to worry about. Already, you got a lot of things you got to worry about, be concerned about as an adult. Well, at least you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Latrell M., thank you for the super chat. Once again, says, you leave a digital print and it outlives you. It does. It does. Thank you, Latrell M. I appreciate you for the super chat. It does. It's going to be there. And so for the people, for the women who have not put themselves out there, don't do it. You don't have to do it, child. Go do something else with your life. Everybody trying to get rich, and everybody ain't gonna be rich. Even the rich people are struggling. Even so-called rich people got bills and struggling. You know, actors we've been watching for years still talking about they broke. So if they broke, if all of these singers are broke, how you think you gonna amass all of this money? They got fame, and a lot of them don't have the money though, and they complaining about it. So so it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Get you a decent way of living, live your life, live within your means, be happy, and stop trying to go for the gusto when a lot of the people who supposedly have the gusto are struggling as well. I'm just saying, it's not always what you think it is. 87 Stevens, thank you for the, is it 87 Steven X? I don't know, but thank you for the super chat. It says, these women are going to be 90 years old, and their great grandkids are going to see it on Windows 40, child. Not Windows 40. Right. Right. But you're right. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. You're exactly right. It's going to pop up. So if you know, and it's interesting how, they do it, and then now all of a sudden you want it to hide. You don't want it to come up, but you did it. That's part of what you did. That comes with the territory, baby. That came with, when you made that choice, that's it. You should be already know. Look, it might pop up. My kids might see it. Hell, your grandkids might see it. So might as well say, yeah, when you get old, Granny was a Rolling Stone, honey. Granny was selling that thing and busting it open for everybody at the time. And so that's what that is. Just let them know. Just accept your fate. I mean, shit, just trying to cry like a victim, like you didn't put yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? Nobody forced you to show your cooch online and show you getting ran through. Nobody forced it. So you chose to put it out there. So accept the consequences that come with it. This is why I say, before you make a decision, learn what all the possible consequences are. So look at the bigger picture, not just a teeny time. Oh, I'm gonna make money. I take care of everybody. Okay, what else? Look at every possible way this could affect your livelihood, your life, your family lives, and all of that. And then decide. Make your decision having all of the information. All of the information. So that you can make a concise one to say, okay, I don't think it's worth it, or I don't care, I think it's worth it. And if this happens, okay, I can work with that. As opposed to making these decisions based off of one small factor, and then when all the big other factors start rearing its head, then you complain and talk about, oh my God, this is going to follow me, and you tearing and crying all that you didn't expect it. No, and that's tend to be how a lot of women think. Okay. So, yeah, and if you want healthy relationships and all that, you think that's going to compromise it, and you want the relationship more, don't do it. If you don't give a damn about a relationship and you don't care about what people think about you, and you want to make that money, okay, that might be your choice to do it. But understand there's still consequences that are out of your control. You can't control everything. And the one thing you could control, you chose to put it out there on display for everybody to see and make money off and profit off of it. So you can't be mad of the consequences that are associated with it. So on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up, you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. I appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to everybody in the building. Everybody who supports the channel, everybody watching. Shout out to everybody who gave super chats and cash apps. I appreciate you guys for supporting the channel in that way. Shout out to everybody who liked the stream. Shout out to everybody who gave a comment in the stream. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody who watched the videos already posted, y'all, for supporting. Make sure you are supporting in any way possible. Also, make sure if you want to support my husband's music, the link is in the description box, you guys. He have songs. He'll be putting out more music as well. Click the link to his music and go over and support by purchasing a song, one of his songs up there, you guys. That will mean a lot to us if you guys support that. And yeah, just continue to thrive and be blessed and take care of yourselves and be safe out here in the streets, y'all. Thank y'all once again for all the support, all the love, for rocking with me, for giving y'all thoughts, for making me laugh, for just being supporters of the channel. I appreciate y'all for that once again. So listen, shout out to y'all. Make sure you are watching the videos already posted. I post content every single day. Make sure you are watching the videos that are already posted on the channel. And at least hitting the like button and sharing them if you can. And leave a comment just to let me know it's real, all right? So make sure you're doing that. I appreciate you guys. Once again, y'all be safe out here in these streets. And I will see you really, really soon. Also, turn on that notification bell. Click that on so you'll be notified when I do go live or post new content, all right? So I'll see you guys really, really soon. Y'all be safe. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see y'all really, really soon. Be safe out here in the streets. I'll see you later. Mwah. Bye.
Laugh and my heart chokes. Like Midas, everything you touch turns gold. You dance in the hallway like nobody's told. You say my name so softly, like it's a little word. Yeah, every time you're near me, all my doubts get blurred. You take my day, turn it bright, brand new. Every look you give says I choose you. I get you more than anybody ever could. You get me in a way I never understood. In every little smile, every little move you do. Ooh, baby, I don't need a reason. I just know. I just know. I get you. Yeah, it's all about your dreams, eyes wide, shining clear. And you tell the wildest stories I could listen for years. And you roll your eyes and kiss me when I'm stubborn and proud. You pull me back to center when my thoughts get loud. You take my fear, turn it into truth. Yeah. Every time you touch me, I remember you. I get more than anybody ever could. You get me, in a way I never understood. Every little smile, every little move you do. Ooh, baby, I don't need a reason. I just know. I just know I get. When the world feels heavy on my shoulders, you lean in, lay your head right over mine. You say we can carry this together, and just like that, I'm fine. Oh, I'm fine. More than anybody ever could. I just know I get you.